and sit down.
Hello gang, Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and my sidekick for the night, yeah, it's Fox, the model making guru.
I'm going to talk only in beatbox tonight.
Oh, are you really? You're going for that, are you?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I might do the occasional split or drum roll, but you know.
Bless you. Anyway, let's have a quick look in.
Everyone.
Dave's left a message, says, have a good show, gents. I've left thumbs up for you both, but he's going to bed. Good man.
Is that because Dave's a big weed and goes to bed at 6 p.m. when it
He's
starts to go dark?
still got the ump because he looks like Wild Bill out of Deadliest Catch because he's got really long hair.
Deadliest Cat. Is that the one where they catch all the crabs and stuff?
Absolutely, absolutely. And the bottom lip's been out because he wants a haircut. And oh yeah,
Didn't one guy actually get swept overboard and disappear on that one for real once?
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, got washed overboard, mate. Yeah, didn't make it. Bless him.
And they just carried on like, yeah, whatever. Hard
Just
job.
carried
Bye.
on filming. Bless him. Probably picked him up the following day. I don't know, mate. But yeah.
How did we get from Dave being feeble and having cocoa early nights to man being swept over? Never mind.
Because Dave looks like a fisherman. Wendy Hickson says, not going to manage to stay to watch tonight. She's not been feeling too well today. Hope it goes well. Catch you tomorrow. We'll get well
Wendy
soon,
Wendy gets some sympathy because she's not been well. Dave gets no sympathy because he's a big girl.
Absolutely. Early points to Dave and hugs of caredness to Wendy.
Yes. Although I have to say, I'm jealous of Dave's silvery hair.
Oh,
I wish my beard and hair were silver because then you can grow any beard you want and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm just getting grey tram lines at the moment, but yeah, it's getting there. Fox says, I'm looking forward to getting an ice brew, some crisps, kicking back, and wait, yeah, was you doing the TED? Did you forget?
Yeah, I'll watch the show. And, oh wait a minute. Oh.
Paul's in, Plastic Monkey, saying hello. Hello, Paul. Hope you're all right.
Hello.
And he's in saying evening to Model Making Guru and Festa. Evening, gentlemen and ladies. Paul saying hello to Andy. Andy saying Baneblade. It's a gun, isn't it?
It's a gun, in it.
It's. Oh yeah, there's additional boomage tonight, folks.
Oh, look at that!
Additional spruages have arrived.
Cole, what's it got on it?
Guns.
Yeah, and what's it got on it?
Corrugating.
And what else it got on it?
And it's got tit on it.
And how many did you get?
Freight repair.
Freight repair.
So that's been done now, so he's happy now, see.
Yeah,
he will end up a button on his shoulder.
We can finish now and go to bed and stuff.
Fox is saying evening one and all. Archie's in saying evening everyone. How are you? We're all
Are you reading out my comments like I'm in chat?
I know. And he's sat there. I know it's bad, isn't it? This is me. Archie saying hello to Andy. Andy says time to big telly.
Big telly.
Big telly. Yeah, it's all about the big telly. Sue's in saying hello, Sue. Hope you're doing all right, my love. Mayhem says Wild Bill, as in Wild Bill Wickott. No, Wild Bill Wazowski or whatever his name is, the bloke on the Deadliest Catch.
Not Buffalo Bill. It puts the lotion in the basket.
Yeah, Wild Bill Wachowski, I think his name is. But yeah, Graham McRobert says hi to my friend Sue, plus the rest of you lot. Hello, Graham. I hope you enjoyed the video, geese.
All right, dude.
Sarah Jane's in, saying hello to everyone. Hello, Sarah Jane.
Sarah Jane gets a Khajiit hello.
Absolutely. Sarah Jane says, I am here. You can all remain seated. Oh, very good. More pictures from Sarah Jane have gone up in the group as well. I think I'll put them in the boomer. I'll check after the show. Candygram for Mungo's in, saying greetings everyone. Aya Scaly Models, Ice Queen, Mayhem Modelwork, Sarah Jane, and everyone before.
Is Dad in?
I think he's having an early night, mate. He's taking his knockout drops because he's.
Oh no, he's in chat later on. He says, "Hey,
Dad."
Is
he? Yeah, he was having a bit of an achy time earlier. Bless him. Graham McRobert says, "And I didn't know, Dad, that you was a Rupert." There you go.
Don't call him a Rupert.
James Chapman's in, saying evening, guys. Hello, James. Hope you're doing all right, mate.
Does that mean he's good at pointing?
Yeah, he's doing that.
He's always doing pointing things.
Yeah.
If you need to find out where someone is, ask Dad. Ask a Rupert. It's over there.
Absolutely, yes, over there.
Did he have a swagger stick?
He might have done.
No, then again, that's NCOs and that's sergeants, isn't it? Not really.
Yeah, that's the ones where you go, yeah, there's something on the end of this stick. Yeah, which end?
The end that's in your face. Ka-ting.
Absolutely. Sarah Jane saying hello to Candy Grandpa Mungo. Dad says he was never a Rupert. Take that back.
Yeah, I told you wouldn't like it.
Yeah. Sue saying hello to Graham McRobert. So that's the chat. Speedily caught up there. So.
Yeah. Well, it's late at night, so we don't get like 45 minutes of the chat you have to catch up with. So
apologies if I've missed anyone. But, I'll keep an eye on it because I've got my tablet of goodness down there. But I'm going to...
Well, you didn't read your own comments out?
Nah. Couldn't be bothered to, mate. Are you all right there, mate?
Oh, I can see it. Oh.
Yeah, and look.
Oh, look at that. But you know the best bit of that grabby arm? The best bit of that is the grot on the back.
Yeah, look at him. Oh.
He's refusing to focus. Done it.
Yeah. And of course...
Oh, look at that.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
Oh.
And...
Oh, with a snap and everything.
And this little one, he's going to be glued in there because he's the turny. Oh,
turny dangly ball.
Oh,
are they just? Did you just find them as STL files?
They was part of a truck, and I may have took it into a CAD program and disassembled it, and then removed the bits that I wanted to keep and printed them.
Cool. Because they're very accurate. The grots are very accurate to actual GW grots.
Yeah, it was something war truck.
The what? Sorry.
It was I think it was an Orc war truck or war boss truck or whatever.
There's the oh, hello, morning. There's the battle wagon and the Orc truck.
That's it,
like
battle wagon. And I just removed certain bits that I wanted to keep. And then obviously we got this little dude with a stick of dynamite in his gob.
That'll be a exploding squig.
Yeah, so it's
what they do is that has it got ear protectors on it? That's brilliant. It's got ear defenders on it. Yeah, they tend to stuff them full of explosives and send them off into the enemy. But the problem is, there's no guarantee it won't just come straight back towards you and blow up.
We got another bloke there to do the wrecking ball holding his ears because a bomb's gone off.
Excellent, I love it. You need hundreds more of them grots though.
Yeah, we got another one carrying a projectile.
Steady, Norris. Paul would have having thoughts about that.
We've got another one sitting there on one having a fag break.
Oh, so when I said about you've got to put loads of little grots doing stuff all over it, you've really taken that to heart.
Yeah. Someone mentioned the periscope, so I did a grot with a periscope.
Oh, dude, you're a goddamn genius.
So hopefully that's enough to keep you going there, mate. Are you all right? Do you need a bit of...
I may have created a bit of a wet patch.
And I can make that noise again if you want.
Oh! I might have done the O face then, just a little bit.
And
oh!
You know you want me to.
Oh! With the rotating. Oh!
Are you all right?
I may have made a bit of a damp patch.
And the beauty of that as well is look at the detail on the console with all the dials, buttons.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, pleasantly pleased with that.
You should be. It looks fantastic.
Some resin printing of goodness ensued there.
And what have I got to show off? Bugger all, because I did nothing since last week. Since I carried on with the Space Wolves on Sunday.
I'm now today going to be building sponsons of goodness once I've taken myself off of full screen. That is.
Doesn't actually matter what the hell I'm doing today because nobody cares.
Yeah, that's
the one downside of trying to compete with that is no one gives a shit what I'm doing. No one cares. Even I don't care what I'm doing.
I love what you do, mate. You know that.
Even I don't care what I'm doing right now because it's not like Baneblade.
What have I added since last week? Platform of goodness for obviously the craneage to sit on.
Also, can I just point out 432?
Yeah, it's 432 there.
Mm-hmm.
So
432 was mentioned.
I am going to be building some more sponsors. Because I didn't think there was enough guns and turrets on it, so I may have ordered some more.
Yeah. You should make you can make all kinds of towering, infernal things with that.
And of course, as you know, there's going to be gunnage, there's going to be turretage, but there's going to be more exhausts,
more antennae. You've got more more grenade launchers,
aerials, so
spare wheels,
another toolbox, another ammo.
More barrels.
Yeah, smoky things.
You can roll out them barrels.
Roll out the barrels. Roll out the barrels of fun.
See, the good thing is there you get. I noticed on the barrels. I know you get the bits where it mounts to the front of the. If you look at the barrels on the sprue, you get the bit on the far left side that's got all the equipment that links it to the tank.
Yeah.
If you can hold it to the right a bit so it's on camera.
Oh yeah, that would help, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you get the bit in the bottom left where it's got all the sort of mounting brackets on it, but you get the other two. You get the two halves. Yeah. And you could actually make a barrel out of both of those halves and ignore the other bit.
Yeah, ignore the other bit and just have them stacked on the Baneblade.
Because you know what you could make?
What?
I'm sure you could cobble together some kind of barrel launcher.
Oh, yeah.
In the style of Borderlands bandit vehicles that have barrel launchers on them.
Yeah, like a trebuchet or
like a little like that grabby arm you've got, but it's a catapulty arm. It's got like a barrel in it ready.
Yeah.
I don't know how you'd build fire into it, but
there's a way. There's always a way.
Always a way.
So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. So yeah, I've got more turretage to do, and stuff of goodness. So yeah, I'm just happy they finally arrived because I can now get on and see what it looks like with all the sponsors.
Well, for my sins, what I'm doing is nobody cares.
Yeah, they do. Go on. What are you up to? Bung your fox
Nobody gives a flying fig. I'm still working on my combat patrol that I'm only working on Sundays and Fridays.
Yeah.
If you remember, I built Spag Bol Lawn Fist, or whatever he's called.
Yeah.
What's his name? Lieutenant Haldor Iceberg, who's been made. Oh, I'll tell you what I did get. I'll tell you what I have done this week. And it's not something I've done, but hang on a minute. I did make a purchase from the Games Workshop.
Oh.
And that is, I got myself a skirmish box.
Oh, yeah.
Just for space puppies. Because I've got to put them somewhere. So I've got the two head dudes in there at one side. And then down in here, I've got some of the dudes I made last time. The infiltrators and the 3 motorbikes in there.
Yeah.
Ready for painting. And I've got loads of spaces for all the other puppies, as long as they haven't got sticky up aerials and things. Because I needed somewhere to store it. And what I tend to do is, I'll tend to get one of these or a case like this. Just so I can have like a force in it.
Oh, right, yeah.
I've got a massive battle case which holds all my other Games Workshop stuff. But I thought if I get one box for my Space Wolves, I'll get another one of these at some point just for Deathcore of Creed. And then I can have them in separate boxes. And if I ever need to play them, I know which one's which.
Oh, mint, mate. Mint.
The problem I've got with my big massive Crusade case, which is like 4 of those, is that it's got Imperial Guard and Death Corps and Space Marines and Tempest Scions, and they're all mixed up. And it's like, if I wanted to take just my Tempest, I'd have to fart around for like half an hour to try and find them.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I want to take a big force, I can take the big box. But if I want to take a little force, I can just take my Space Marines or whatever. So I'm just carrying on with that. I don't know if I was doing dudes on the Friday and the walker on the Sunday or what. Yeah. So I'll just carry on with the walker.
And what I would say about these sponsors as well is thanks to Dom and Stuart, Grindice Tabletop Gaming, for getting me them super prompt. I said I'd give them a shout out, and there it is.
Who's that? Sorry, I didn't hear it. I was fiddling with my earpiece.
Grindice Tabletop Gaming. Grindice.co.uk.
Oh.
Couple of nice people there that spun that around nice and quick for me.
Cool.
And I batted them an email thanking them and said I'd give them a shout out.
Yay. Why not?
Why not?
Do it.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah. Oh, I have some news for the viewers.
Oh.
You'll remember that a few days ago in one of a stream conversation chats, I explained that my D'Agostini X-Wing had been put away in the box and put into the loft because I haven't heard from them in 5 months. I've not had any contact from them, and I haven't received any issues from issue 46. No. And I've been sat here waiting for 5 months. Nothing's happened. So I thought, right, I'm going to put it in the box. I'm going to put it in the loft. The next day, after me farting about getting the ladder from the garage and putting it in the loft and tidying up the front room and using the space for something else. The next day, a box turned up from D'Agostini. And I'm like,
That's just your luck.
Sasson. And then I wouldn't mind, another box turned up this morning. So yeah, the X-Wing's back on. Although I haven't opened them yet. They're all in quarantine, so I assume I've gone from SU 47 onwards. I hope so. I don't hope there's not a gap in the middle. I don't know where I'm going to build it once it gets really big, and I don't know where I'm going to put it when it's finished, but we'll sort something out.
I had it with a Rossi bike. Nothing turned up for months, and then all of a sudden it's all started coming again. So
yeah, I knew it'd go like that. But the thing is that with me, of course, I'm not paying for it. I'm getting it free, so I just thought, well, I've just fallen off the list for whatever reason. I'm not going to push it because we didn't actually have to honour the rubbish PR guy that signed me up for it. So, and then they did. And now I'll do some building now that nobody cares about because it's not your Baneblade.
Oh, Lammerkins.
Do.
It's a nice Baneblade, though.
It is a nice bit, very nice Baneblade.
So,
but I really am like, I've not even got my bits out. Hang on. Get me bits out. I've got my little work in progress box, which is a Cadbury's, whatever it is, tub. Which I put the lid on to keep the dust off, but now my Imperial Knight's got too big and it sticks up and I can't put the lid on, so flange.
You don't need that. You don't need an Imperial Knight that's refusing to stick.
No, you do need an Imperial Knight though.
Yeah.
Or you could actually just, what you could do is not get an Imperial Knight and just get a Stomper.
Yeah, one of them is on the list.
It's like the Orc equivalent of an Imperial Knight.
Yeah, I was reminded of that yesterday. I think it was by Dad.
I was going to say, I know exactly who reminded you of that.
Yeah, he said, he said, you've got to do one. I said, I will.
Do one.
It's on the radar of listeners.
So how are you, Col, anyway?
How
are things for you?
I'm all right, mate. Like I say, it's just playing catch up with all my builds, mate. I kind of have neglected my channel a little bit and not done a lot of filming, and so I'm just playing a game of catch up. But you know what it's like, we've had the world on fire, so
yeah. I mean, you keep it in the loft and feed it fish head, so it's not like you can neglect it much. But it's just been one of those, mate. But now that things are settling down a bit, I can get back to doing the video builds and that. Yeah. Well, again this week I had all the intentions in the world of doing some work on the Lehman Russ, and as always, real life has just completely bulldozed through. Ironically, with the thing on the front, has bulldozed through all of that, and I've done nothing at all this week. I've not been able to get to the bench apart from live streams. So again, very frustrating. It's there, sat over there. I can see it with its chipping done, and it's all it's got is some basic weathering to do now. And it's like, oh.
Yeah, but it's the same old thing, though, isn't it? Life does get in the way.
Yep.
Iron Man 129's in, saying morning, Cole and Fox, and hi chat. Hiya, mate.
Morning. And I've just remembered, I've got to quickly do something on my Imperial Knight.
Yeah, no worries.
I posted a picture up of Sir Hector Cerberus, the walking figure, on Facebook earlier, and there's a honking great mould line right down one pipe that I hadn't noticed. I'm like, oh, you bugger.
Oh, seam of shame.
Well, it's just a mould line, but it's that typical thing if you don't see it until you take a photograph and stick it on Facebook, and you're like, oh, for crying out loud. So now I've got to try and get it off now, and it's like, oh, I can't even see it now, and I know it's there. And yet, when I took the photograph, of course, it's like lit up like a neon.
That always happens, though, isn't it? The minute you photograph something, that one hair that you didn't think you had on your head, especially in my case, it's like, where did that come from?
Or that one bit of masking fluid.
Yeah.
And I've got to tell you, I'm going to do it now. There's a hair on the back of my finger there.
Yeah.
It's really long and it's bent. I'm going to cut it off. It annoys me. All I can see on my current eyes is hair on the back of my finger.
Yes, folks, this is what he's like.
Literally, you get the little tiny hair, but there's one hair that's gone, and it's like, oh.
I tend to get them aerials in the middle of my forehead because I'm a man of a certain age, and we grow these weird 3 foot long ear hairs or forehead hairs for some reason.
Yeah, I tend to get like the eyelash from space that just goes.
Yeah. Not
the eyelash, sorry, the eyebrow hair, the one single one.
Oh yeah, the Dennis Ely, the big coily one. Yeah.
Yeah, but just one in an otherwise normal eyebrow.
Yeah. Yeah, you try and pull that bad boy out, mate, and you will blink a lot, won't you?
Oh, Did you ever make? I made the mistake once, before I knew otherwise, of pulling a nose hair out.
Oh yeah, spring onion. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing you do it once, and once only.
It's instant river dance, that is, mate.
Mm-hmm. It's just like everything that could waters. Some organs I didn't even know I had were watering. It was that painful.
Yeah, and it's like, why did I go and do that?
And then it's like somebody once got me a pair of nose hair trimmers and ear hair trimmers as a Christmas present once. Probably something I didn't like.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if you think I am ever doing anything with my nose hairs ever again, you can just GTFO. It's not happening. Yeah,
don't, because I did that and turned it off whilst it was still up there. And yeah, you try and remove that bad boy. Yeah,
that's like a rat king, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're never gonna.
Yeah, all them spring onions at once. It's like in the box, and that's where it stays.
Is it a rat king when you get all the rats and the tails get knotted up? Is it a rat king or a?
I think so.
It's rat something, isn't it? King of rats or something. I know the king of rats is actually a Warhammer thing as well.
Jamie Bone is threatening to send Dad all the blue.
Hey Jamie,
how you doing, geese?
Mayhem says, "Oh, there go the Sunday names," because Dad said Susan.
Yeah.
Everybody's being really cruel to Dad and saying blue.
Yeah.
That's cruel. Edward Leonard's in.
Hello, Edward.
Our master of squishies.
Hope you're doing all right, mate.
How are the squishies? We hope you're all well, but more importantly, we hope the squishies are good. We do love you, but we love your squishies more. I'm sorry about that, but it's true.
Is that a cue to do the impression of the jellyfish?
Always. Ready? Ready? I've got to get me lined up with a camera, haven't I?
Yeah, I
can't do it. For some reason, I'm not on form tonight.
You're all jellied out.
Yeah, we love you, Edward, but we love your squishies more. It's just I've pinged me a bit. It's just a fact of nature, I'm afraid.
Oh yeah.
If you get jellies, then you instantly become less popular than your pets. It's just the way it is. It's like if you have a husky. Everybody loves your dog more.
Oh yeah, you see everyone walk towards the dog, don't you? Go, hi, I am here, you know.
No, you're not. and the dog's like, roar. So, yeah. So I'm just working on this little plastic tube that's all ribbed for my pleasure. So I'm just scraping out all the mould lines. Always the way. So have you not been doing much work this week then, dude?
No, not really, mate. It's one of them. It's been a strange week because obviously we're prepping for the wife to have her surgery, so it's kind of sorting all of that out, really. We've been sort of sidestepped with, so yeah, it's just taken up a bit of time. Let's just wait for him to come back. There he is. Yeah, so it's just taken.
I know when I fall out because my fan goes quiet.
Yeah, it's just taken a little bit of time just to sort that out. But, yeah.
Is she going to get her surgery before you get yours?
Yes.
Has she got a confirmed date for hers now? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 3 weeks' time or 2 weeks' time.
3 weeks, free for a pound.
Free for a pound, yeah. So, yeah.
Bonus.
Yeah, she's looking forward to getting it done because it's going to resolve the issue of the arthritic fingers and digits.
So what? They're actually just fusing them all together, aren't they? Is it the
thumb, index finger, and that one. They're basically cutting down the finger there on each one, and then they grind all of the nodules off, and then they make a hole there and put a big down the finger.
Okay, so they're not fusing them all. Are they fusing them all into one thing? They're just fusing.
They're fusing them two joints together there.
Oh yeah, I thought you meant they were going to
have that movement, but the phalanges at the end won't move.
Because I thought you meant they were fusing them all together like this to make like one big.
No,
I was like, I don't see how that's going to work.
No, and then obviously the thumb, that joint there's gone, and that joint, so they're going to do them as well. So
yeah,
they'll do one hand first, and then she'll let that heal, and then they'll do the other one another day.
Yeah, so she'll still have grip power and so on, and she'll be.
She'll still have grip power, but obviously it's. It's just gonna.
I guess if they can move, then see, I've got that with mine. If you look at my knuckles, they're all kind of ever so slightly wonky because I'll go the same way as my parents. I'll get arthritic knuckles and stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean I've got a couple that are fused. That one's fused. That little finger's going. So, but with it seems to have really got that hand quite badly in the last couple of years. So they're going to do that one. and then let it heal, and then they'll do the other side, the left hand side.
I mean, my only big worry is just what my hands look like, because it's all people see most of it in a video. They mostly see my hands.
Yeah.
So if I get all the gnarly knuckles,
it's worrying. You know, she is anxious about it, but like I said, you know, she's 53. You know, she's going to spend a lot of years in constant agony. You know, get it done now.
Sorry if I suddenly got distracted. Something made a noise in my room, and I don't know what it was. That was weird.
Was that a trouser burp?
No, it's like you hear that noise there.
Yeah,
that's the noise. But this was on the shelf.
It's a bit spooky.
Yeah, that's spoopy, spooptacular.
It's got a ghost.
All aboard the spoopy bus.
Yeah. Fox is like, please don't tell me I've got a ghost. I will sleep with one eye open forevermore.
Oh, I remember once many years ago. Not many years ago. I'd just gone to bed, and I heard this little noise. It was like a little metallic ding-ling-ling noise. I'm like, what's that? I paid it no mind. I just thought it was something outside in the garden, and I kept hearing it, like a little scratchy noise.
Yeah.
So I got out of bed, and I turned the light on, and it seemed to be coming from the ceiling.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, it's coming from the ceiling by the wall. On the other side of that wall is the bathroom. In the bathroom is a drop ceiling, and a couple of years before, we'd had like squirrels living in the drop ceiling of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And then at that time, we also had swifts that lived in the loft, in the roof space. So I thought it's probably just the swiftlets, the little baby swifts scratching around it. Go back to bed. So I paid it no mind. I thought it's just the swiftlets, and we like the swifts. We always get happy when the swifts come and stay with us because they're nice. You can hear them scruffling around. And I thought, it's just swifts. I'll go to bed. Or it's a squirrel. And then I heard this little noise, and then I heard this little sort of metallic ding. And you know when you hear a noise, like a random noise, and you instantly know exactly what it is, or they've got no frame of reference, you know exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, that's the sound of one of the cables down the back of my computer.
Oh, giving up the ghost?
No, dinging into the leg of my computer desk, which has got a little metal. Like, there's a little bit of metal at the back where the wires go through. You can feel it, and it's like if you move the plug, it goes ding, and the wire tinks off the metal.
Oh right,
I thought that's the cable around the back of my computer being knocked into the back of the computer desk. Okay, this is wrong. This is not something that should be happening. There's no reason why at all why a thick power lead should be moving behind my computer. So I always have my phone by my side as an alarm clock. So I turn the phone on, turn the torch on, and I'm looking, and then bugger me, there was a goddamn mouse in my bedroom.
No.
This is a first floor. This is a first floor back bedroom.
Yeah.
And it's like we're in the middle of suburbia. There's a mouse. I get like a mouse in the kitchen. This was a mouse in my bedroom. I'm like, what? How did you get upstairs? It was like this big.
Yeah.
It was totally adorable, and it was moving around the room. I'm like, oh, what the heck? Oh man! It's like I'd have very occasionally seen a mouse in the kitchen or something, and you just you just put down the lavender and the garlic, and you get a humane trap, and you take them out, and you get rid of them.
Absolutely.
But I'm like, how the hell did it get upstairs? And I'm in the room all the time. How did it get in the room without me even spotting it?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm watching it. And I thought, well, there's not much I can do. Let's just watch it for a bit and see what it's doing. And what I did was I got out of bed and I sat in my chair, and it went round the back of the cupboard. And I thought, well, I'm not going to start trying to chase it because it's just going to run into the dark and hide. Yeah. So I'll just sit and wait and see what it's doing. I'll do like I do in a video game. I'll see what the enemy guards do. I'll figure out their patrol routes, and then I'll take them out with a sniper rifle. So I sat there, and it went behind the computer desk, and it went behind the TV cabinet, and I can hear it scrabbling around. And then bugger me, the next thing, it's popped up and it's sat on top of my TV.
Oh no!
Like the TV's that wide, it's gone all the way up the cables at the back of the TV, and it's sat on, and it's looking at me, and I'm like, dude, seriously?
Yeah, it's like really.
Because I had the lights off, but I had the torch on my phone, and and he's just sitting there looking at me. I'm like, look, you're really adorable, but I really don't want you in this bedroom because that's weird. It's a bedroom. It's upstairs. No.
Yeah, you could be sitting there filming, and it comes trundling along. Yeah. Yeah.
So I took loads of photographs of it, and it was totally adorable. And then what I did was I noticed that it would come out from behind the TV and it would go to where the bedroom door is and sniff around that and then go back in the dark again. I thought, it's trying to get out.
Yeah.
So what I did was I did a very careful, cunning plan. I opened the bedroom door, and when it went out the door, I closed the bedroom door.
Very good plan.
Yeah, but the problem was then, just as I closed the bedroom door, I heard Mama Fox get up and go for a wee, and I thought it's going to have gone straight into her bedroom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but then what we did was the next day we got some like humane traps and caught it and took it away, threw it away into the wilds. But I was like, what are you doing in my bedroom on the first floor in this semi-detached suburban house?
Why are you there? You've got all this space to run around in.
Yeah, and how did you get past me? It's not like it's a big room. So it was totally adorable. So I threw it out. But I found the best thing to try and catch mice, if you've got a little mouse trap, a humane one that I don't endorse killing them. I would never kill one. Is Nutella or peanut butter.
Oh right.
I put Nutella in the trap and they weren't really bothered. So I put peanut butter in, and dear God, they like that stuff. Because over the years we've we maybe had one or two. You occasionally get a mouse. You can't not get mice really nowadays in the suburbs.
Yeah, this is the thing now. Everything's worked its way in, isn't it?
Yeah, but we used to put food out for the birds and stuff, so you're going to get the odd rodent here and there.
Of course you are.
Certain peanut butter, they absolutely go bonkers for it. So you get the humane trap and you put it at the end, and you put it down half an hour, chink. There you go. You get it in the trap, you wait till the next morning, get it in the car, drive a mile away and put it in a field.
Exactly. Give it back to nature. That's all it takes.
But apparently you have to go at least a mile away from your house, otherwise it'll just come straight back.
Oh, yeah.
But it's so adorable. It was as big as a rice. It was like that big. It was tiny.
Oh,
so adorable.
Ickle little bubba.
It was. I opened the kitchen cupboard once, and inside the kitchen cupboard was one of them spinny round bits. It's like It's like a corner unit, so the two doors open like that, and it's just a rotunda thing in the middle with shelves.
Right, yeah, a bit like a super duper lazy Susan.
Yeah, but it's like the entire shelves rotate. And I opened I opened it to get something and turned it round, and there was a little mouse sat there watching me. I just slowly turned it back round again and closed the cupboard and walked away.
You did the honourable thing.
I'll leave you there and I'll come back some other time. There you go. I don't mind them. Chuck them out.
They're doing no harm at the end of the day.
Well, they might give you a disease and you might die, but you chuck them out and they're fine. It's only because we put food out for the birds. And
well, this is it. That's the thing now, though, isn't it? Is, with all that's going on, there's rubbish in the streets and everything, and it's all accumulating, isn't it?
Yep. Well, we've kind of stopped. We stopped doing that after a while. We still have bird feeders, but we don't really put food out for them now.
Yeah, nature's in the neighbourhood, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. I like creatures. Okay. I like all kinds of creatures. Most all kinds of creatures.
Actually, I might as well mount that whilst I'm there.
How's your sponsoring doing?
Oh,
bugger me! Oh.
Yeah. I know.
Good God, woman!
I know. You're all excited, aren't you?
This is impossible.
Because you just kind of you want to see it in place, don't you?
I'm just dead jealous.
You're like, oh, look at that!
It's like I can never even begin to make a Baneblade that even starts to compare to this, and nor will I ever even bother trying. All I can do for now, in the future ever, is just make regular normal Baneblades.
Yeah, but nothing wrong with that.
There is, because it won't be as awesome as yours, and I'll be like, sadness.
No, it don't matter, does it? It's only a Baneblade at the end of the day.
It matters to me.
More than enough people could probably build one of these.
No, but I could never get to look like that. It's never going to compare. And plus, I don't do orcs, so I can't. All I can do is build a Baneblade that looks like a Baneblade.
It is surprising because the other day I may have inadvertently picked up the box and just looked at the box art, and I was like, "Yeah, it is quite a bit different now." So yeah, I may have got slightly carried away.
Yeah. I mean, mine will always be Death Guard or Imperial Guard, so I'm kind of stuck with canon, if you know what I mean. Sadly.
Yeah.
I don't mind. I get to put invasion stripes on mine.
I'm getting to mount cranes of goodness on mine.
Oh, wrecking balls.
There's 2 turrets there.
Tell you what, if you wanted to play that, you'd have a right problem, because it's like that's a codex worth of armaments on just one tank.
Yeah.
I don't even know how you would play that on the tabletop, to be perfectly brutally honest.
dude.
Oh,
3 turrets. And a crane. Oh!
I'll just be back in 1 second, dude.
Oh, yes. Look at that. That's a bit of a turretage and craneage and ball and chainage of goodness. Oh, yeah. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah. So there will be goodness. I've got a little dude somewhere. That one there. He's going to sit on the back of it. Be doing his thing over there. Yep. It's got to be done. Got to be done. Right. What we got? Oh, Lynn Dipple's in. Giving hugs out for everyone. Hello, Lynn. Hope you're doing all right, darling. Plastic Monkey saying very nice. Yeah, it's getting there, mate, isn't it? It's little bits, Paul, at the end of the day, mate. But, yeah, I've got all of that going on there. And then you got that guy there. He's going to sit on there.
Sorry about that, I'm back.
So, yeah, I'm pretty much enamoured with it, if I'm honest.
I just have this sudden horrible thought. Did you notice that I actually disappeared for the last 5 minutes?
I did.
Oh, good.
I heard you say that you was going, and yeah, but
I just had this sudden horrible thought that you didn't hear me and you've been talking to me for the last 2 minutes. I'm like, no, wait. Oh,
yeah, we're magnetising things for those that have just come in to chat. But
oh God, look at that! This is going to take you so long to paint because think of it. That's like 10 tank kits. Morning, Vicar.
I know. Do you think I've got a bit carried away, mate?
I think you're halfway there now, mate. You may as well finish the job.
But it's like, it's one of them. This is my first Warhammer vehicle. And it's like, yeah, I've kind of sowed a seed, really, haven't I? But,
yeah, you've done something.
Yeah, you know, not bad for me first one. So,
Not
yeah,
bad for your first one. You've basically built an entire fortress on tracks. I think it's the most impressive damn Baneblade I've ever seen.
But yeah, I get to make them noises. Magnetised noises. It's like...
Oh, the slap of happiness. Well, there are more happy slaps I can think of, but that's one of the slaps of happiness.
So yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to with it. So... But yeah, it's going to have to be painted in manageable sections, in it. I mean, because otherwise, yeah, it's going to take forever and a day. Well, I'm looking forward to it, if I'm honest.
That's all very well and interesting, but nobody cares about your silly tank when I've glued 2 tubes together.
Absolutely, and what a beautiful
that puts you to shame. I've glued 2 tubes together. Never mind your Baneblade sponsors and
come on, full screen. Come on, show us your tubes. That sounds right.
Look at my tubes.
Oh, mate, I doff my hat to your expertness.
That is just the kind of quality tubage that you don't get anywhere else on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
You have come here to get this kind of quality tubage.
I am impressed.
That puts all your work to shame, so.
Absolutely.
I feel better now.
I'm going to pack my bench away now. I'm going to get Charlie out and say, Charlie, come and get the gear, mate.
Take it away.
Yeah, take it all.
I'm taking the mickey out of myself in case anybody queries that.
But leave the Baneblade because I want to tease Fox.
Yeah, you would.
So you're going to open your curtains one day and you'll see it on the lawn. You'll run downstairs, open the door, and it'll be gone again. You'll be like, sure, I just saw that on my lawn.
Yeah. Or I'll get a really, really big box turn up at Christmas. I'll be like, wow, look at the size of that box. Open it up and it'll be a picture of your Baneblade.
Yeah, it'll be, oh, Fox, I've sent you this Baneblade to paint.
And it'll be a tiny little picture of your Baneblade, just a little tiny photograph in this massive box.
It'll be that little 3D printed one I've got.
Yeah. I wouldn't even dream of painting that. That's your baby. That's your 6 months. You know, like Ted's got the Titanic, the U-boat that took him 2 years.
Yeah.
And now he's got the Titanic that's going to take him like 3 years.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to your Titanic.
Yeah, it is going to be that, isn't it? But then, dare I say it, it is kind of going to be a labour of love, isn't it?
But the beauty of that thing is, because it's orc, There's one thing you haven't considered, of course, which is that it's all made of scrap, and you know that it's all made of scrap and things that are found on the battlefield. Well, of course, the Baneblade itself wouldn't necessarily look like that when they found it. They've added bits from other Baneblades and tanks.
Yeah.
So you could have different colours all over it.
Absolutely.
It's like, there could be the Bad Moon's yellow, the one, but then one of the turrets could still be the green and black camouflage from the
That's it. It can be all kinds of goodness.
So if you end up painting it in bits, it doesn't matter if the colours don't quite match.
Absolutely. It could be looted and scavenged from all walks of Orkness.
Yep. Could be any colour you want.
Yeah, it's like, But no, I'm looking forward to doing the painting as the build series, or the painting series on the channel.
Yep, you're looking forward to all of the painting in 2022 and 21. And
yeah, there's going to be a lot of it.
Yep.
I kind of know I've bitten off a fair old challenge there, but dare I say it, it's something, like I say, we've always said this about comfort zones, haven't we? And it's something I haven't built before, and it's like a new challenge, isn't it? So.
Well, the thing is, it's the beauty of it is it's a tank, and the beauty of things like tanks, it doesn't matter if it's Games Workshop or Ryfield or anybody or Tamiya, the beauty of a lot of tanks is that more often than not, the paint schemes are really simple.
Yes.
They usually tend to be one or two colours, and it's not particularly hard. And they're pretty much the entire surface of them is coloured one colour. It's not like you've got millions of different things to paint. There is on there, you've got some decorative bits, but it's mostly one colour, and most of the paint job is weathering anyway. So
yeah,
the one reason I don't really have anything bad to say about tanks is because they don't need to be complicated.
No.
They don't need to be, a complex paint job. I mean, my Lehman Russ is literally two colours, black and green.
Yeah.
And that's all brush painting. Apart from the Death Guard green base coat I sprayed.
Well, it's like you were saying earlier on before we came on, wasn't it? Don't overthink it.
Yeah. I mean, that's just a green and black, and that's all brush painting, and it's taken me forever to get the damn thing done. I'm still working on it, but I
do like that though. That is nice.
Yeah. But I mean, if I was to take out all the gaps between painting the chips and the other bits, and not finished it yet, and all the rest of it, it's probably like a day's work.
Yeah,
couple of days work so far on that. If you take out all the gaps and filming and everything else, if you compressed it all into just the working time, and that's the beauty of tanks and a lot of military vehicles. They tend to be one colour. So whereas you might paint like a sports car or something where it's all different colour bits and it's all careful masking, it's a tank. You just paint it green or blue or red or whatever colour it's supposed to be. And cover it in muck and dirt and hide everything because they're never going to be shiny clean. That's the beauty of it.
Phil East is in, saying evening all. Hello,
Hey, Phil.
Hope you're doing all right. Yeah. Sarah Jane's off. She's going to play a bit of Borderlands.
Oh, Borderlands. Sarah Jane, you need to play some Skyrim. Sort some Skyrim out. Everybody should play Skyrim. If you haven't played Skyrim, play Skyrim. Everybody should play Skyrim. Do you play Skyrim, Colin?
I've got it on my Steam, but I haven't played it yet.
What you need to do is play it.
I've made the first step of actually getting it on the system. But
yeah. Get the game, get all the mods, get playing.
Yeah.
Well met, traveller. Then I can say all the lines that we know from Skyrim that you don't know, and you be like, that's from Skyrim, that is.
Yeah, and I'll be going all suave, windswept and interesting because I know a gaming thing.
Yeah. And then you can legitimately say things like, some may call this junk, me, I call them treasures.
I like treasures.
Or everything's for sale. And know what it's from.
Oops. I knew you had your uses. Couldn't quite figure out what they were, but now I do.
Steady now. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't be jumped to such a conclusion, to be perfectly honest. Don't ever say I've got a use and a purpose. That's nonsense. That doesn't help my idiot image.
Yeah, I have an idiot image to maintain.
I've got a reputation to maintain of being inept at everything and completely useless. Festa needs an oddball out of Kelly's heroes. I don't know what any of that means.
Oddball out of Kelly's heroes, yeah, definitely. I'd like to actually do the oddball Sherman, which is basically buy a Sherman tank but do it as the film variant with a big speaker on it and all of that.
Sorry, but just excuse me for 1 minute, Carl. I can hear a noise. I don't know what it is. Give me 1 second. I'll be back in a sec.
It's not my end, is it? Because I've got my fan on. Muse is in, back to work later all. Yeah, there you go, Muse. Thanks for popping in, darling. Lynn saying, bye, Muse, take care, loads of coffees. Yeah, Muse's got to have her coffee.
Sorry about that. No, I could hear like a banging. I didn't know what it was. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't somebody in the house that shouldn't be in the house.
Yes,
like.
yes, yeah, exactly.
But it might have been the wind banging something around.
Yeah, it could be something rattling down the back of the garden, couldn't it? Fence panel or something.
Teenager head shopping.
Paul Lyon says, I was actually watching Kelly's Heroes this afternoon. I love the film, mate. It's brilliant, isn't it?
I have no idea what that is at all.
Oh, it's a Donald Sutherland and Clint Eastwood film set back in the days of the Second World War.
Well, you said Donald Sutherland, Clint Eastwood, and that instantly makes me want to watch it. If not just for Donald Sutherland.
Dude, it's an absolute cult film, mate. You'd love it. It's so you. Oddball is you.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
My mum knew Donald Sutherland.
Yeah.
Many years ago.
Jamie Bones says, question, what's the best way to make imitation asbestos rope for tank exhaust?
To make imitation what?
Asbestos rope. You know, what you used to wrap exhausts with.
I've never even heard of asbestos rope. So I can't advise
the last one I did, I used very, very fine strips of crepe bandage, but you could use some fine yarn.
What does it look like?
Well, it looks like crepe bandage being wrapped around the exhaust.
So it's not like rope. It's like flat.
Yeah,
it's like a plaster of Paris strip kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing. You wrap exhausts with it, basically. Yeah, old vintage bikes used to have their exhausts wrapped, and tanks and things like that. And it's
So it's like on your Orc vehicle, your custom booster blaster. There's a few bits where it looks like it's got a bandage wrapped around some of the roll.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say easy line, but no, not if it's like that.
No, the easy line would be too skinny, wouldn't it?
See, plastic card would be great, but it's not really. You can't really flex it round. It's not easy to bend.
No.
I would maybe. One possibility could potentially be green stuff, but rolled really, really flat.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Yeah.
Green stuff is like Games Workshop's like putty. It's a 2-part epoxy putty. And you can roll it, if you roll it really, really flat and make it into almost like a thin paper, you can make things like bandages and stuff out of it if it's really, really flattened. You use it to make things like cloaks and stuff. You could try that. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know if that'd be thin enough though. Plastic card, you kind of almost want to use paper or even Post-it note.
Yeah, I have used before really, really thin strips of Tamiya tape and weathered that.
Oh, Tamiya tape, yeah, because you can stick it. Oh,
you know, the really thin one. But you can also get what's known as painter's tape. What they use on custom cars to do the flames. You'll know the stuff I mean, Fox.
But that's like 3M blue stuff, but that's got real texture to it.
Yeah, but it's got, like you say, it's got a texture on it, isn't it? So that might work.
It's got a tit on it. I mean, a texture on it.
Yeah, it's got loads of tits on it.
It's made of tits. Okay, well let me get some. Yeah, because if you get your Tamiya tape, not this stuff, because this is the washi tape, whatever it is. Yeah. The one that what's his face? That bloke whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, you get the super skinny stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah, who's that bloke? It's not Lincoln, right? It's the guy. Oh, I can't remember. He's one of the guys from I can't remember his name.
IPMS.
Yeah, but he's like an American guy, and he what's his name? He used to be a motorbike dude and crashed, and he's got limited hand movement. And he's what's his name?
Oh yeah,
you know the one I mean. He's full of good advice and tips, but I can never remember his damn name. Anyway, yeah, he talked about this washi tape, so I got some, and it is actually really good. Cheaper than Tamiya tape. I've got loads of it and I bought loads of it. Let's try. Now I have used this before. So if I get some Tamiya tape and I put it down, I haven't got anything to wrap it round. Let's wrap it round a
wrap around a bit of sprue.
Oh yeah, that's an idea. Except all my sprue is kind of square. I'll wrap it around this bit of paintbrush. So what I would do is I would then, we'll start not do it sideways because that's the dumbest thing ever, you spoon. Put it like that. Now you tend to get like crispiness around the edges, so I would perhaps take the edge off it, like that. And then miss the second time, like a chump. Get some tweezers. Tweezers! So I've got a nice straight edge. And then, Mr. Rossi, what you want? And then. I bet nobody remembers Mr. Rossi, do they? Spanish cartoon from the 80s that we saw on Channel 4 for a while. It was kind of really bizarre.
No, I don't remember that. Oh, no.
Mr. Rossi and his dog Harold. It was kind of very cubist, surreal. Mr. Rossi, what you want? Cocoa castles in this. It was very weird. Anyway, so there's your strip of tape. So what you could do. Now there is a caveat to this. So there's your strip of tape. Very fine blade. Very lightly, no pressure. Use the weight of the blade. Always use the weight of the tool if you can. Whatever you're making. Very fine strip. And what you would do, what I would do, is simply, imagine this was your exhaust pipe or whatever, is simply, I would do it at a jaunty angle like that, and I'd wrap it round as if it was like a bandage, so it kind of crosses over itself.
Yeah, that's all I did with my motorbike.
Yeah, so it looks a bit, you know, shonky and a bit rubbish, but you get the idea. You probably stretch it out more. But the only thing I don't know is how you would seal that in, because of course you can't glue it in place because it's paper. Now it does stick a little bit itself. Probably your best bet is that it will probably be held in place quite nicely by the primer. I wouldn't
PVA will do it.
Well, it would do, but then when you try and put primer on top of PVA, it's going to go crackle. It's going to turn into crackle paint. So I never recommend trying to paint over PVA glue. It never ends well because it expands and heat when it gets warm. So you could do that. I mean, if you do it properly and not like that, which was half-arsed, and try and do it neatly, because that's more like an orc bandage on a roll cage. But if you wanted to do it neatly, like a proper thing on an exhaust pipe, and it wouldn't be that wide, but you'd do it carefully and you'd make sure it didn't cross over itself too much, because it's nice and thin. It's kind of 1/35 size. It's about the right thickness, and if you're careful, once it's on, the stick will hold it in place, and then a primer coat over that and your paints, and that'll be well done. There you go. How does that look? I can't really zoom in.
Wonderful.
I'll try and zoom in. Hang on. But the beauty with Tamiya tape is, unlike say 3M tape or anything like that, panel lining tape is too thick. It's like that thick. Tamiya tape is smooth. It doesn't really have much of a texture to it. If you use like 3M blue automotive tape, it's got a real rough texture. It's like paper. But that, you could probably get away with that. Possibly.
Yeah, that'll work.
Yeah. There probably are other products very similar to that. But that's what I would probably do. But then again, if you're making like a motorbike kit that's supposed to be nice and shiny, do you want a kind of half-assed solution? Like, I can't think what else you'd do. I know I have on some of my Orc vehicles where I've had like a big nasty seam line between two like roll cage tubes. I've just wrapped some easy line round to make it look like rope.
Oh right, yeah, I'm with you.
So it looks like they've wrapped. And then I did that on one bit. I wrapped some of the easy line round to make it look like rope to hide the joint. And then I realised somewhere else on the vehicle they'd actually moulded the same kind of thing in, like rope around. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even realise that. So I just made this up, and it turned out it was accurate to the vehicle anyway. So that's one idea for you, Jamie. It might not be the best one. Depends what you're building.
Yeah, it's trial and error at the end of the day, isn't it?
But it also depends on what you are building in terms of, for example, if you were building, let's say, a World War II motorbike.
Yes.
Say a military motorbike, it may well be you could try and suggest that the stuff around the exhaust was a temporary fix by the driver or the rider.
Yeah.
So you could get a bit of a shonky look to it with tape. That would work. I don't know anything about motorbike. I don't know anything about motorbikes.
Yeah.
I may as well be talking about,
Witchcraft and tomfoolery, isn't it, mate?
well, I may as well be talking about koi carp or I don't know, love eggs. I don't bloody know. People have gone and I've been talking through all of it. Lynn's in. Lynn Dipple's in.
Hello, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn.
Hello.
Ice Queen's off. Right, that's me. I'm done. Off to bed night all.
Yeah, see you later, Sue. Thanks for popping in, darling.
Probably about an hour ago. Paul apparently has left us. Well, thank you for coming in, Paul. Take care. Hugo Source Collector's in. He says hi.
Hi, mate.
Sergeant Bone says use pledge on the paper. Oh, that's an idea. That would work, but again, my only concern then will be trying to prime and paint over pledge.
Yeah.
That's the trick. If it was a shiny exhaust that you've already built and painted, here's one thing you could do. You could build and paint the shiny exhaust. I don't know what this tape is. Is it something you apply to fix a broken exhaust pipe?
It's
basically
it's like a heat wrap that you put around old vintage motorcycle exhausts. It's just a look. It's like the old cafe racer look,
Yeah, I don't know how you do it. I wouldn't want to. I'm very reluctant to do any kind of priming or painting over things like PVA or pledge. I tried painting Tamiya orange over a pledge coat once, and it turned into crackle paint. It was quite spectacular.
Oh yeah.
But I took a spoon with C1 metallizer on it, and I sprayed Tamiya clear orange.
Yeah.
And it looked like a nice kind of candy orange. I took a spoon with C1 metallizer and pledge gloss coated over it, painted it on, and it went crackle, 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 and it was like a Grell and Earth, but in Psycho Orange. It was quite cool.
Oh no!
But it was just a test. It was a test spoon, so I didn't care. But I learned a lesson.
Yeah. It always pays to try on a spoon or a bit of old sprue first, folks.
Yep. Sergeant Bone says use pledge on the paper. Oh yeah, you could brush it into the paper. Yeah, you could actually. You could very carefully brush pledge into the paper.
Yeah.
That would soak into the paper and kind of lock it in place. And I think then when you, again though, it's priming and painting on top of. Yeah, I don't know. You'd have to do a test example just to test it out. I think. Just see what happens. It probably would work. It would probably look fabulous, darling.
Fantabulastic.
I can't believe I'm advising people what to do for motorbike kits. I don't know anything about motorbikes. I'm the least motorbike person you can imagine. If there's a place, if knowing motorbikes was a place, I would be the one furthest from it. I'm sure there's a Star Wars reference there. I'll shut up.
I think you're doing well, mate.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm shutting up now for a bit. You can talk for now. I've done all the talking now. I was only going to do beatbox, remember, this evening.
I know. I think you've done well, though.
I know. So to make up, I shall just say... There you go.
See? This is why he doesn't get out much, folks.
No, that's the ASBO, though.
Yeah.
That's the restraining order. That's a whole different
piece of paper that the kind policeman left.
Yeah, it's a whole different. That's the thing on my ankle.
Yeah.
I read a story today in the BBC News website of some like couple that have this house. They were burgled by some scrote.
Yeah.
And the scrote, obviously being a scrote, was far too stupid and got caught. And what they're doing in this, wherever it is, I can't remember where it is now, is they're doing like reparations. So if you were caught burgling a house,
yeah,
you have to go and like work in their garden.
Yeah. And
it kind of I'm sure it's a good idea. But anyway, the story was that this sort of elderly couple have now got to know this lad, and they've exchanged Christmas gifts and everything because he comes into the garden. And I'd be like, no, I'd still just demand he put in prison for the rest of his life.
Yeah, he'd be having bread, water, or gruel, and yeah.
Because we treat him like a son now. I'm like, wow, you guys are idiots. He burgled your house. He'll do it again. He might not do it again, but still, he doesn't deserve it.
Definitely saw them coming, didn't he?
Yeah. And it says something like, him and two other lads are responsible for like 860 crimes in the local area, and it's like, he's 15.
Oh my God, what a
I wouldn't want him in my garden. I want him in a cell. Yeah. I don't know. He's like family now. Wow, you guys are real special individuals.
Yeah, they need to get out more, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, so that amused me.
Yeah, that's just like, yeah. I know what I'd do with him.
Yeah, we'll move on from that one.
Yeah, it's just annoying knowing it that these little scroats can go around doing that.
Yep. And here's me, I can't even play a bad guy in a video game. I don't know. What else have you been doing then, Cole? What else has been life doing for you? Anything interesting? Have you got past, here's the important question that you're now going to discuss for the next 10 minutes. Have you got past episode 5?
No. I know, mate.
Why
am absolutely useless, mate.
Why do I bother?
I ain't. I've just not had an opportunity to sit down and watch telly and stuff like that.
What else have you watched since you've watched the 5th episode of Deep Space Nine? What else have you watched box sets of?
Oh, God.
There we go. I've not had an opportunity to watch any more DS9 because I've been too busy watching Wentworth.
Yeah, I watched a bit of Wentworth, but I couldn't get into DS9 at the time. It just got a bit slow, and I was like... Ugh.
Can I just ask everyone in chat to please just do lots of fingers of shame for Colin, please? He needs all the fingers of shame right now because he's not got past episode 5 of DS9 in the last few months.
6 months.
Yeah. I was like, you got to watch it. I'll watch it. I want to watch it. Have you watched it? No.
No. Oh. I will make a renewed effort then.
Yes, I shall do what my dad used to do, which made me always feel really bad. My dad was not the shouty, hitty type.
Yeah.
My dad was the type that would say he was disappointed.
Yeah.
And the way I was brought up, telling me you were disappointed in me was much more powerful.
Yeah.
And much more affecting than hitting me or telling me off and shouting at me.
Yeah.
And my parents knew it. We're so disappointed in you, crushed. So yeah, Colin, I'm very disappointed in you.
Yeah, my mum used to say, I'm very disappointed.
Yeah, but your mum would slap you anyway.
But for you.
Yeah, but your mum would still slap you upside the head.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And I needed it.
Yeah, I bet you were a nightmare, you were, weren't you?
I was, yes. I must.
Oh, look at the chat, Carl. Look at the chat. What people are typing in chat.
Finger of shame.
Finger of shame.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
I love the fact we started the finger of shame in chat. It's a delightful thing. Thank you, everyone.
The thing is, though, I actually feel the finger of shame that they're giving me.
I try not to feel the finger as much as possible, you know.
You know, I'm sitting here now going, oh no, they're all giving me the finger of shame. And I was going to ring my mum, but she would only give me the finger of shame down the phone anyway. So.
Colin always feels it when you give him the finger of shame. Now, I will give you a bit of leeway. I will let you off a little bit because you took up DS9 time to watch Wentworth. And and Wentworth is actually fantastic.
Yeah.
If anybody hasn't watched Wentworth, but you've got Amazon Prime, sort that out. There's 8 seasons of it. It's the modern version of Prisoner Cell Block H, and it's absolutely genius. Yeah. Absolute fantastic. It's better than the original Cell Block H. It's like Cell Block H, but serious.
Yeah.
And quite harsh in a lot of places.
Well, yeah,
I wasn't happy with Doreen at first, the way they recast Doreen. I was like, but after a while I thought, you know what? No, this Doreen is better.
Yeah.
Doreen. And the freak, the freak is just so much better.
Brilliant, yeah.
The disturbing thing about the freak is she looks uncannily like my ex-friend I used to work for.
Yeah.
Who is no longer a friend, but looks uncannily like my mate. Who's a bloke.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of my mate's mum. It's like,
that's scary.
So glad she wasn't my mum because I am generally letting out a bump burp.
Lynn Dipple says that Chaos hasn't seen DS9 either. Well, not having seen any of DS9 is different to having watched the first 5 episodes after me hassling it and then not doing anything more after that. Yeah,
I know. I need to realise that, Major Kira. Yeah, there's a good reason to watch it.
That's the reason to watch it, is Major Kira. Plus, Ben Sisko. I mean, he's just the best captain there is. When he eventually becomes a captain. He's just the best of all the Star Trek captains.
No, I am a TNG buff fan.
And Odo, One of the best characters, and Odo and Quark together are like the best duo in any Star Trek series.
Yeah.
Odo, it's almost like a love story, but it's not a love story, but you know.
Yeah, we know what you mean.
Yeah, Odo and Quark together is just absolute genius script writing. And don't even get me started on Majel Barrett and Odo on the, Laxana Troy and Odo. Oh God!
He died a few years ago, didn't he? The guy that played him,
René Auberjonois.
Yeah,
he passed away a couple of years ago, I think. Sadly, which was a shame.
Yeah, great name.
He's a fantastic actor.
So
I mean, nobody.
You build your Odo figure, you've got to rewatch Deep Space Nine, then.
Yeah, because I've got an Odo, haven't I? I've got my big vinyl, my 1/9 scale or whatever Odo. Let's have a look. There is a company that makes a paper shaping solution. Can't remember the name of the company, but Night Shift showed how to use it, and it held up with primer.
Oh, cool. Right.
That'll be for your paper tape then. That's from Sergeant Bones. So go and check out Night Shift's channel. You should watch Night Shift channel anyway because his stuff's really good.
Yeah.
Sergeant Bones. He says he wants to do it for Jamie wants to do it on a 135th Meng Whippet exhaust based on the one at Bovington. Oh, in that case, yeah, tape would be absolutely fine if it's a tank, because they will never look like nice and clean motorbikes anyway. So absolutely, yeah, tape would be great for that. Sergeant Bones says VMS paper fixation solution.
Oh, sounds like a solution of goodness, doesn't it, mate?
Yeah. Then Lynn and Mayhem give you the finger of shame. Scale Modelling Chaos has never watched DS9. Jamie Bowen gives you reverse finger of shame, but just the one. And Sean Wiles gives you fingers of shame going in both directions. That's gonna ring a tear to your eye, isn't it?
It is.
Sergeant Bones, I would use the thin fabric ribbon, the same I would use for seatbelts. I can get it in cream colour, which would match the asbestos wrapping on the Whippet exhaust. There you go then. Sergeant Bones knows his stuff. Ignore everything I said.
Top tip there from Mr. Bones.
Yep.
Our resident armour expert.
Yeah. Craft shops and stationery stores usually have it. It's a love-hate story, Odo and Quark, says Lynn. Absolutely. It's like a bromance. It's like... Colin doesn't know yet because he's not watched, but it's almost like there's a love story between Odo and Quark, but there isn't. It's like, Odo's the policeman and Quark's the habitual, slightly dodgy
he's
criminal.
The Ferengi bloke, is it?
So he's like ropey and dodgy and stuff, and it's a bit like the Dukes of Hazzard and Roscoe. It's that kind of thing, but it's just done in such a way that it's completely endearing. And I won't give any spoilers, but the best way to sum up the entire Quark-Odo relationship is the last 2 lines of dialogue that those 2 characters say to each other in the last episode. It sums up the relationship perfectly. Because
it did run for a number of years. Have I heard right that they're reworking the series into HD?
No, they re-released The Next Generation as HD.
Yeah.
Because it was filmed on film stock.
Yeah.
And it was filmed in such a way to make that possible. It was filmed in widescreen and so on.
Oh, right.
Of it, so they could easily do that. The problem with Deep Space Nine is it wasn't.
Yeah, it's 4.3.
Not all of it, but they can do it. But the real problem is that with the next gen, it took them a long time and cost them a fortune.
Yeah.
And the problem they have was that they knew they'd make the money back with the next gen. Because you remaster all 7 seasons, you can sell that for like $200, £200 or £300 as a box set. The problem you've got is Deep Space Nine, although it's the best one by far of all the seasons series, it was the odd child. It was never the most popular.
Yeah.
And the Paramount have always said, or the rights holders have always said, they're not 100% convinced that it's worth spending all that money because it's a lot of work and very expensive to do it.
Yeah, is it going to sell?
Yeah, so they have. One of the companies did do a quick test. There was a documentary that came out a couple of years ago by the original producers, Ira Bear and one of the other guys, 2 of the original creators and producers of Deep Space Nine. They did a little thing where they got all the cast back together and they just had a sort of, it was like a cast meet up and conversation.
Yeah, almost like a reunion type thing.
Yeah, and they sort of imagine what a next series, what Series 8 would have looked like. And they took a couple of scenes and HD'd them up.
Yeah.
I think they were actually filmed on film stock. I got it wrong, but they managed to HD, and they looked incredible. They've gone from 480p to like 4K, and they look. I think they were on film stock. They look fantastic. But it's really just that Paramount and Viacom, or whoever, I don't know who the rights holder is now, CBS or somebody, because it's all changed. Yeah. Whoever it is has just said they don't see the demand for it that there was there with Next Generation.
Yeah, what a shame.
Yeah, I mean, they might do it eventually as it gets cheaper and faster, but it's so much, because you have to literally take every single frame by frame, and enhance it and remaster it.
Yeah.
And the other thing I think they found was with DS9, a lot of the film stock isn't available anymore. I think there were some other reasons as well, like they couldn't find. So there'd be a lot of farting around today.
Yeah. Shame.
Scale Modelling Chaos says a lot of people probably won't recognise, but René Auberjonois playing the bad guy in Police Academy 5, Miami Beach.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Sean Weil says the best character in DS9 was Odo's bucket.
Yeah, that was right. Yeah, he used to have to go into a bucket or sleep in a bucket, didn't he?
Yeah, he had to go back to his liquid state every now and then.
That was it.
Yeah, I've actually got, like, somebody sent me a big a vinyl kit of Odo with I think I've got the bucket as well.
Yeah,
but I've never done vinyl. I'd have to fill it with something. I'd do some research. I've decided to do some research, and you can't just build a vinyl figure. You have to fill it with like something that's not going to expand.
Yes.
I think some people use like plaster of Paris and stuff.
Yeah, I've used grout, that sort of thing. You know, anything that will give it a bit of weight.
Yeah, because it will just crumple in and collapse otherwise. So.
Yeah.
Apparently, I don't know. Johnny's in, says good evening, people.
Hello, Johnny.
Johnny also says I've never really watched Deep Space Nine. You heathen, you monster.
So does that mean then my fingers of shame get?
No. No.
Okay. You're a tough audience.
I am a very tough audience. I'm the worst. I'm the worst. But it's just, for me, of all of Star Trek, it's just the best characters, the best script writing in DS9. Absolutely. I mean, Odo and Quark, by far, is just the best double team, best tag team of all the series. And this is why I never got onto Voyager very much, because, like, Next Gen had some fantastic characters.
Yes.
DS9 had the best characters and the best script writing. But Voyager didn't have the characters.
It never seemed to go, did it?
No, it didn't have the. I love ensemble cast where you have a group of, say, 5, 10 or 15 characters that all get on like an ensemble, which is why I like things like Star Treks. I like Bones. Yeah. I like Castle. I think that's a small ensemble. You know, when you get an ensemble cast, it's not just a character and another character. I love things like that. But with Voyager, all the characters were... Janeway was great, but all the characters were bland. I didn't care about Paris. I didn't care about Kim.
It just seemed strained, didn't it, all the way through?
Yeah, there was nothing about any particular character that I cared about.
No.
I didn't care about any of them. And it was like, there was no like nice little relationships and interplay like Quark and Odo or Data and Geordie or anything like that. There was no... You know, you had no Loaxana Troy and Picard or Loaxana Troy and Odo or Q and Picard. Yeah. None of it. There was none of that. It was just kind of by the numbers. And that's why I liked Voyager, but I didn't like it as much as the others. It just didn't do anything for me. It was like a bit boring. So I never really the biggest fan of Voyager.
No, it didn't seem to have much storylines to it, really. It's like...
Well, they were okay. They had some good storylines and stuff. It's just the characters weren't there. I didn't care about them. I wasn't invested in them. I didn't find myself loving the characters. Like, you know, I loved Quark. I love Odo. I loved, Bashir and O'Brien. I loved Garak. Garak and you won't know any of this, but Garak and Bashir is almost the second best sort of relationship in that series after Quark and Odo. Garak and Bashir. You need to watch it, dude. You need to watch it.
Oh, I will get around to it.
You need to develop
because I know what's going to happen now. I will not be able to face up with the finger of shame in the chat that I'm getting. It will get me. I'm going to not sleep now for days.
Yeah, you need to experience Garak and Bashir. If nothing else, and Quarkinodo, if nothing else. Tell him, people, tell him. Tell it to the mountain.
Yeah, all this finger of shame and sharedness, it's like, yeah, I can't.
Mayhem Modelworks gets 10 XP for a Bones reference. He says, King of the Lab.
Yes, good bone reference, that, mate. King of the Lab.
Go for it, Bug Boy.
I loved the geekiness of them characters.
Yeah, that was when you get an ensemble cast that they just click, all the actors and actresses click, and they just have that relationship with each other. Yeah, that you just know they're all kind of having a good time off screen as well.
Oh yeah,
and I think Bones was lucky in that they managed to nail it with every time there was a cast change or a new cast member. They managed to nail it that they always got on with each other and they always worked. They never had a bad casting in that show at all.
No.
I remember when Aubrey first came in, I was like, I don't know about Aubrey, but after a while it's like, you know what? I love Aubrey.
Yeah, same with Sweets, wasn't it? And when Zach Addy went,
Yep. And you're like, you know what? No, it's... I didn't like Aubrey at first, but after a while I'm like, no, what? I like him now. I love him to bits. Yeah. Especially the fact he eats everything all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
The bane of my existence, exhaust pipes. I have to sit and wait for them so I can sand them down. What are you doing, dude?
Me? I've just built Turret of Goodness.
I was expecting to go Baneblade, innit?
No, I was good. Yeah, built the turret on that one. Just doing the other turret for the other side.
Shut up.
Oh no.
Andy is off.
See you later, Andy. Take
he says,
care,
okay, I'm calling it at night. The caffeine is wearing off, but that was like half an hour ago, so he's probably asleep by now.
Oh, bless you.
Johnny says, sorry, but I would like to see a 7 of 9 sculpt.
Oh, yeah.
See, I don't know. And I always kind of looked past that kind of very, very cheesy, sexy type stuff. I just...
Major Kira cast.
Yeah, I found Major Kira much more alluring than 7 of 9.
Just had a bit of naughtiness about her.
Yeah, well, to me, it's. I've always much preferred subtlety than blatant, TNA on display. Oh, look, it's a tight-fitting catsuit in a curvy woman.
Yeah, less is more.
Yeah, it's like So I was much more found. Kira Nerys with the little wrinkles on her nose. Oh, just so adorable.
Yeah, exactly. They're walking around with their top shelf hanging out, and what's there to look forward to? You know what I mean?
And it's like I found Ezri Dax more alluring than Jadzia Dax.
Yeah,
I think I prefer the more delicate featured lady than the bombshell type.
Yeah,
I prefer. I always like the kind of more subtle English Rose type than the model. I can't stand women that are all overdone and plastic surgery. So I always found people like Kira Nerys.
Well, yeah, it's like putting lipstick on a coat, isn't it? It's too overdone.
I just found that kind of because like Kira Nerys had a like form-fitting Bajoran uniform, but it wasn't like a complete skin suit like 7 of 9. And it just complimented her. But she had the little wrinkles on her nose, and when she smiled, and it was just so cute and adorable. You just wanted to give her, just get her cheeks and go like that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the nose wrinkles that have it.
It is. It's like, little hamster nose. It's just so adorable. You want to give her nuggies, don't you? On her cheeks.
Yeah, you kind of want to go, I want that nose.
Yeah, keep smiling. Do that little nose wrinkle. Where are we up to? Edward Len says, did you like the Next Generation? That was good to me. Yeah, you can't. Next Generation I enjoyed. I loved to bits. Then I found I liked DS9 even more. But
yeah, I did like Next Generation. I wasn't. I'm going to get finger of shame again. I know it. I wasn't a fan of Star Trek: The Original Series.
No. I mean, I grew up with it. I liked it when I was
bland.
I liked it when I was a kid, but I can't really go back and watch it now. It's too cheesy.
Yeah, it was just a bit. Yeah.
There's a lot of the Next Gen I can't go back and watch just because it's a bit 1980s and a bit cheese-tastic.
Yes.
Like third season onwards is really good, but there's still episodes of Next Gen I'm like, I can't watch this.
Yeah,
one.
A little bit gushy, a bit. Ugh.
Yeah. Shut up, Wesley. But
Yeah.
But yeah, DS9 is darker. I like DS9. There are not many episodes of DS9 I will not watch. But Move Along Home is one of them. I will never watch that crap. Jesus Christ.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you haven't seen that one. You know, like there's always a few clunkers.
A few clunkers.
Clunkers. In any series, there's always a few dodgy episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Move Along Home. Yeah, you won't enjoy that one.
Paul Lines has a question.
Yes.
Do you have any idea on how to paint cotton wool so that it looks like the firing effect of a tank gunner? Very, very, very low pressure airbrush mistage.
Yeah, it's airbrush that. And if you want it to glow on the inside,
shove an LED in it.
Yeah, what you do is you have. I've always wanted to try it actually, but I tried it once many years ago, and it like absolute dog biscuits. What you have is like you'll have the turret like that. Let's say that's the turret, and you'll have a fibre optic cable or an LED on a bit of wire sticking out on like a piece of clear wire. So it's just like this LED sat in the middle of nowhere, but then you cover it in the cotton wool.
Yeah.
You embed it into the cotton wool, and it's all about very lightly colouring the cotton wool. I did try it once, but it's years ago, so I wouldn't even bother trying to say I can do it. But yeah, it's all about subtlety.
Make yourself a wire cage to put the LED in, so it doesn't get too warm, and just pack the cotton wool round the cage. It's
But also look at photographs of tank cannons actually firing. What you'll see is, I've seen ones where people have painted like black round the edge, and it's like if you look at an actual high-speed photograph of a tank firing its cannon, what you have is this massive ball of like white and yellow.
Yes.
Like white hot in the middle, and it goes to a light yellow, very bright yellow on the. There's none black, and it's not a chance to cool down. So you could technically just leave it as white, and just make sure you've got a nice. Well, then again, you want it white in the middle, don't you? I don't know. Actually, you'd have to experiment. I would be tempted to use like very, very subtle yellow inks sprayed just around the outskirts, so that when the bulb is on, the centre is bright white and the cotton's white, but then on the outskirts it's just got a hint of. Although I don't know where you paint the outskirts of a sphere. You can't really do that. But you know what I mean. I suppose. What would you do, Cole? Have you done one before?
Yeah, I was going to do one on the Panzer howitzer I've got.
With an H?
Yeah, and coincidentally, Sarge is in the chat, because it was Sarge I was talking to about it. And he was referencing the fact that you get like almost like a diamond-shaped explosion coming out the mantle.
Yep.
He said, and capturing that is, it does. It's one of those that I will do. I've seen it done, and it looks really effective. There's a guy that did the Abrams tank that's airborne, and he did it on that, and it really does look effective when it's done right. So I
would imagine though, and we've talked about this before, there's a certain amount of trade-off between what it actually looks like and what people expect it to look like on a model. Like in their head, what does it look like when the tank fires?
Yeah, it's definitely worth looking at real life photos.
Yeah, because I wonder if you if you made the cloud, the exhaust gases, because remember what you're seeing is not smoke. It's not actually, at that point when the shell is just coming out the turret, or it's still in there, you're not seeing smoke, you're seeing like hot gas. It's hot exhaust gases that are like ridiculously hot. Though the smoke will follow, but at that point it might be a little bit dust and dirt, but most of what you're seeing is hot gases. But I can imagine that you could sit there and you could make the most realistic, true to life muzzle flash, and it wouldn't look right. Yeah, because there's something about, like, remember, and I've said before, when I saw that truck with the 45-degree streak down the side, down the back door, and I thought if I put that on a model truck, everybody would think I just messed up. But it's real; it was there because they've been parked at an angle. And it's one of those things that I don't know if you could do it straight realistically without it looking kind of weird.
Yeah, would it look strange?
Yeah, like if they're a particular geometric shape, for example, people look at it and say, "Well, that looks weird. Why is it a diamond shape? Shouldn't it just be a cloud?"
Yeah.
So it's probably a toss-up between what it should look like and what you kind of people expect it to look like. I would imagine. I mean, I don't know. My nan had wrinkles on her nose and she looked awful in a cat suit, says Sean Miles. Don't want to see pictures of that.
Priceless.
Do not want to see pictures of that. I should have said me nan. That'd be more funny if I read it in a northern accent. Me nan.
Oh,
Me nan had wrinkles on her nose, but she looked awful in a cat suit. No. William Rayburn's back. He's about to run some laps. That sounds like exercise. I can't condone that.
Yeah,
I can't condone exercise. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you run the laps, mate, and we'll sit here and admire you for doing it.
Yeah, we'll feel good about it for you. There's more comments. I'll look at the comments in a minute when I'm gluing some stuff together. I nearly said a word then.
Edward Lina says, yeah, cool. Looks like arse, but I'm not going to fix it tonight. I don't know why it looks bad, but I'll figure it out tomorrow.
What looks bad? What are we talking about? What? Hey?
Exactly.
He's put up a video in the Boom Hut, a squishy video, but the quality is shit. I did it from my phone, so I have to redo it. It's probably because you're not filming in bright light. Phone cameras are not best in anything but fantastically bright light.
And also remember to avoid the finger of shame. Make sure it's in landscape.
Yeah, don't film in portrait. If it's in portrait, I'm gonna have to just come over there and kick your ass.
Yeah, finger of shame will be issued.
Yeah, in the Boom Hut, we always say in the Boom Hut there's no snark allowed, unless the person posts a portrait video, in which case every single member is more than validly allowed to mercilessly rip the creator until they refilm it the right way around.
Yeah,
because
just that thing, isn't it?
Because friends don't make friends film in portrait mode.
I made that mistake once.
Yep.
Damn you, turn your phone. Okay, I'm on my way to get my coat.
When you know Fox, you make that mistake once.
Yeah.
Where are we? Let's have a look. Yeah, if you're filming on any kind of smartphone, the thing is with the digital cameras in smartphones, they're not designed for low light, or most of them aren't. It's not a 500 quid SLR camera. It's a reasonably cheap, usually Zeiss CCD chip with some lens setup. They're not ideal for low light, which is why they take fantastic pictures in broad daylight. Or I film on my iPhone SE here because I've got like 6 lights and loads of lights here, and it looks great. Yeah. But if I was to film, if I turned, I know it's not. I'm not streaming on my camera now, but I've got 2 desk lamps and the overhead lights on. If I turn off the 2 the 2 desk lamps by pressing the correct button, this is a webcam, so it's similar in a lot of ways to a mobile phone. Now, if I turn off the overhead lights, it looks like nighttime, but it's not actually. If I turn the iPad off, my desk is now in complete darkness, but it's not.
Yeah,
it's actually quite bright because I've got the other lights in the room. But things like webcams and smartphones, unless it's the top of the range recent release like a Samsung or something, which some of them do have really good cameras on, for a lot of them, they're just not designed. iPhones are terrible for low light. So if you're filming your squishy tank and you've got the lights turned off so you can see the lights in the tank, A, you're pointing it at a light source, which is always a bad idea. And B, you've got no other lights in the room, so it's struggling to know where to focus. So it's one of them things you kind of have to film. It's difficult to film something like a glowy squishy tank on a smartphone because it needs the lights to...
That's another one that always gives us a giggle, isn't it? It's like,
what's that?
White balance. Out of focus.
Yeah, I don't know.
We've all done it though, haven't we? Let's be honest.
And he says that my phone is the newest iPhone 12 Plus mega ass, and it's supposed to be the best phone camera. Yeah, but it's still a mobile. They're still mostly sucky and low light. That's the thing. But the other thing is, you should ideally never point the camera at a light source because it blows the exposure and everything else. If I point my camera at a light source, it has to drop the exposure down massively to not burn the chip out and make just a white picture. So everything else is dark. So try not to point it at a light source, which is why you never take a picture of something against a window. And just try to have the rest of the room bright lit. There's no real way to easily take a picture of something that's lit up like a squishy tank. There's no real way to get around that, unfortunately. It's just the nature of smartphone cameras. But don't forget, of course, he does mention compression. Facebook does compress the living crap out of anything you upload to it as well.
Oh, yeah.
But make sure, the other thing, of course, he says it looks good to him here. Make sure that you've got the settings on the camera correct. For example, let me get my phone out of my case. I'm not waving my bank cards around on camera.
yeah, don't do that.
For example, he says, as he puts it into airplane mode for obvious reasons, if you look on the iPhone screen, I'll put it in colour so you can see.
Do you want me to put your full screen, mate?
Yeah, you can. So if you go into settings, you've probably done this already, but in case you don't know, camera, I never know where it is now. Camera settings. I've got my camera set at videos at 1080p at 30 fps. The other thing to keep in mind is I've got HDR, high dynamic range, which is the colour. A photograph can look great. If you take a photograph with HDR, high dynamic range, it'll look great on your phone because your phone can display HDR. When you then send it to a computer, your computer might not be able to display HDR, which is why a screenshot from an Xbox looks fantastic until you upload it to the internet and it looks half washed out because the colour's gone. There's no option for the camera, is there? I thought there were camera settings for actual camera. I guess not. Photos.
On the more recent ones there are, aren't there?
No, there used to be a setting for the still shot camera, like the single photo camera. But there isn't. It seems to have been formats. There we go. To reduce the file size, capture photos and videos in the high efficiency format. Most compatible will always be JPEG. Okay. Yeah. No, it's. I don't know. It seems to be not. Where's the. Like I've got the option on there. You've got the option for HDR and non-HDR.
Yeah.
HDR is better because it just means you've got a greater range of colours. I've got to. I don't even know you turn it off now. Actually. Off. There we go. HDR looks fantastic on an HDR compatible device.
Yeah.
But if you then display that picture on a non-HDR compatible device, all the colours get washed out. Because what HDR does, it says black is 0 and white is 255.
Yeah, yeah.
Whereas for most devices, that 255 colour range is not actually real.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, for example, if I like I'm playing a game on my Xbox and I've got HDR on, and I'm seeing the black looks black because my TV can do HDR. So 0, if the game console says 0, it says black. If it says 255, it says white. When I then transfer that to my computer to stream, if I'm streaming it, my computer isn't set for HDR.
Yeah.
And my monitor isn't HDR compatible. So it always looks washed out because it's saying, right, 0. But my computer's saying, well, what's 0? Black is like 52 or 25 or something. It's got a more restricted range. So it can't do black. It has to just do the nearest thing, which is probably an off black. So it's kind of weird. But yeah, it always looks terrible. Facebook's compression is ass.
Oh, and yeah. If we all could afford to do it, we would all film with a proper camera setup, wouldn't we?
Yeah. But the other thing, again, with the camera as well, with video, is make sure you've got it set to a nice format. I've got mine set at 1080p.
Yeah.
You could set that to 4K at 30. You've probably got 4K 60 on there as well. But it depends what format you've got set. Do keep that in mind. And also, the one thing I found with iPhones is their cameras. Yeah, when you're filming on a camera, when you take a still shot with the iPhone camera, it will look great on the screen, but when you put it on your computer, it will look washed out, or the colours won't be right. The exposure is always too much.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to go in Photoshop and edit. Every time you see a photograph that I've posted on Facebook, I've had to edit either the gamma, the exposure, the colour depth, the saturate. I've had to change something. So when I take a photograph, I have to drop the exposure down. If I use the built-in camera, I drop the exposure down every time, like that far, to even get it looking anything like reality when it comes out of the camera. It looks great on screen, but it'll look terrible when you put it into your computer. It's the same with the video setup. If you're just doing the default camera, it'll always look a bit overexposed. And if I point it at a light source, I haven't got one here to point it at, but
Yeah, you don't want to be overexposed, mate.
No, that's why I've got the restraining order. So the thing you have to realise when you film on a smartphone, when you see like videos that we've put up, like I film on my iPhone 2020 SE.
Yeah.
What you don't know is that I take the footage from that phone and I put it through post-processing. I have to change the exposure, the colour balance, the saturation and everything, because it doesn't look like as good as it does on the iPhone screen.
Yeah.
Your iPhone screen can do HDR. Facebook can't. And footage, even professional film cameras, when you look at raw footage from a film camera, it looks terrible, which is why whenever you see like deleted scenes from movies, they're always really like poor quality or scrappy, or the colours are all pale.
Yes.
Because they haven't been through post-production. There are people, not so much now in the digital age, but when they used to film on film, there's people whose jobs were to take the film and correct the colour and make the colour more realistic as to what we expect.
I've often thought of going back to a video camera setup.
Yeah.
Because of that, because when I used to film with the video camera, because that was HD, you could import it straight into a Premiere and you didn't have to mess with it too much. You'd still have a bit of finessing to do, but not a lot. Whereas, as you know, with the iPhones, it's...
Well, there's no real farting around. I mean, literally, I connect my iPhone to I've got a USB to Lightning cable.
Yeah.
In the back of the computer, I connect it to that, transfer the picture to the Windows Explorer, drag it into the video editing. That's it, done.
Yeah.
I've never used iTunes. Forget that.
Oh no. Load out.
There used to be the days when you couldn't drag and drop files from the iPhone, and that was like living hell. Now you can just drag and drop the video file from the iPhone to the computer.
Yeah.
But there'll always be some kind of post-production, and people don't realise this when they film. Somebody in the Boom Hut the other day put a thing saying, "Why do my photographs always look terrible?"
Yeah.
And it's because you don't realise that you have to do a lot of farting around afterwards to make it look right.
Yeah.
Smartphone cameras. My iPhone 5 took better photographs than my iPhone 8.
Yeah. Yeah.
7. It's the software that they always come out overexposed and bleached, and you have to go back and dial them down and change the contrast and change the exposure. It's a pain in the arse. You can avoid that problem with a proper SLR camera, because at that point you're taking proper photographs and setting your exposure.
Yes.
A handy bit of advice I would recommend to people, if you are wanting to, if you use an iPhone and you want to actually do proper filming, like videos. This is my iPhone that I film with, my 2020 SE. I use 2 apps. I don't use the built-in camera. I used to. I use an app called First Light, which is a video camera piece of hardware. And basically it is industry standard photography on a smartphone. So it has individual exposure focus tools. You can lock focus and exposure separately. You can't do it on iPhone on the default camera. I can set my aperture, my exposure, so I've got frame rate to what I can set the frame rate to 180. I can set the exposure to the ISO. I can set differently, so I can change my ISO, my frame rate, my zoom and focus. I can set the white balance. I can have color curves and color graphs, all kinds of different things I can set for the white balance. I can have little, if I wanted to, I can check out zebra. I don't know if it'll work now, but you can do things where it'll give you zebra striping, and it'll come on camera. It'll give you zebra striping when the blacks are crushed or the whites are oversaturated. So it's basically a professional photography tool, a video tool, so you can get all your color balances and stuff correct. And it's basically all the tools you will get on a professional video camera, but in a smartphone. And it's something like 25 quid, but once you bought it on one device, you can transfer it. You can install it on any other device.
Yeah.
Not a problem. But I film on this now every single time, purely because it's the only device I found where I can independently lock the white balance and the exposure and the focus.
Yeah.
Because on the bog standard iPhone, all you can do is you can click on the screen to lock the focus, and it also locks the white balance at the same time. but I might not want. It locks the exposure. Sorry, you can change the exposure a bit, but you don't know what you're doing. With First Light, it's proper control, and you see proper production companies using where they need to use the smartphone. They'll use First Light because they can get professional results. And it also does all kind of various compatibility things. It can do time code, CMS. It can do all kinds of different bits and bobs. It's basically full-on professional recording on a smartphone. So if you are serious about doing videos and you've got an iPhone, a smartphone, I think it's on Android as well, get yourself First Light. I've tried I have tried a whole mess of camera apps.
Tried that Filmic Pro, but it kind of tried to cook me phone.
Yeah, no, I used Filmic Pro for a while.
Hot, and it was like, okay, the phone is trying to fry an egg.
Yeah, I used Filmic Pro for a while, but the problem I had was it would crash all the time.
Yeah.
Which is no good when you've just done a 20-minute take and it crashes.
Exactly.
So I've tried most of the camera apps on the Apple Store. Not all of them, because I can't afford to buy all of them. I've tried a whole mess of them. Because all I've ever wanted to be able to do was lock white balance and lock focus separately.
Yes.
Ironically, no, I don't lock focus at all, because the new iPhones, they can change focus like that.
Yeah.
So it's not a problem. The old ones, it took forever and it was a pain in the ass to watch. But now I can lock the white balance and the exposure and everything else and have the focus. Because if I'm trying to film painting this and I've got the focus locked, I can't move that anywhere.
No.
And if I move it, the whole shot's ruined. If I haven't got the focus locked, I can move this around and the camera will automatically pick it up. So the fact I can keep focus unlocked whilst locking white balance and exposure is invaluable for me. And I spent a long time going through lots of camera apps, and First Light is the first one that let me do that and worked perfectly. So absolutely, if you're looking for a decent camera app to film, get First Light. Don't even bother with any of the others. Just trust me. Save your money. Get First Light. It's brilliant stuff.
There you go, folks.
Yes. I'll shut up now, and it's your turn to do lots of talking, isn't it?
I find it interesting because, like I say, we're all streamers. We're all channel video makers and that. I mean, I'd even contemplated going back to my little camcorder to film.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I just thought, well, I didn't used to have any issues with it. Yeah, it's just one of them.
Thing is, though, that's old tech by now. Your iPhone's going to have a much better camera on it than that.
I don't know how old tech it would be. I mean, it was 1080p, but
yeah, but the
it's
thing,
about 8 years old. So
the thing with 1080p is it may produce a file that's 1080 by 1920.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean it's got a good CCD chip inside it.
No.
Like, you know, this webcam here, this Logitech C920 is 1080p.
Yeah.
But if I buy a cheap 20 quid Chinese knockoff webcam that's 1080p, it might be 1080p, but it'll look like absolute biblical ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's the software as well and everything else. So if you've got an 8-year-old video camera, it's probably not going to look great.
Yeah, it's an old JVC by the look of that.
Yeah, it'll be 1080p, but it won't be able to deal with fast movement or colour saturation or anything like that, and I wouldn't bother. I wouldn't bother. Your smartphone camera is like light years ahead of that already. If you've got a smartphone and you've got First Light, you're golden. Or even if you're just using your smartphone without First Light, you can still get away with it.
Yeah, like I say, once it's gone through Premiere and that, I just do a few little audio enhancements, just bring that up to get rid of any background noises, as you know.
Well, that's why
the background noises.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's why I don't record live audio very rarely now.
No, I do straight voiceover, mate.
Yep, I go straight for voiceover now. I'm too old to be able to do live voiceover in one take without messing it up 100 times and getting really angry.
Yeah.
And then that will come through in the recording of the audio because I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this bit anymore. I've done it 15 times.
Yeah.
And that's not good. So I literally do. Sometimes I have to do live audio. And you can tell when I do that because it sounds like it does now with the microphones in the same place.
I just find it less hassle doing it that way.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it's great because instead of like trying to say some dialogue 25 times, and by the time I actually get to finish the lines right, I've then got to paint after being really angry. That's never going to end well. Whereas I can just paint and film and then add the words later.
Yeah, I mean, as you know the way I film. I just switch the camera on and leave it running, because if I have shaky hands syndrome or anything like that, I can edit all of that out. But also because you can focus on what you're building rather than what you're trying to say, because you want it to sound like an episode.
Yeah, you'll paint better.
You can just get on and build and build and build, and then any dead bench time you can edit out, and you can sit there with a cup of tea, do your voiceover, job done.
But the other advantage to me, if I do my voiceover afterwards, it's the same microphone. I have my Yeti microphone is either on the bench here,
yes,
or it's over by my computer on another wiggly arm mount. But it's not. Basically, what happens is the reason my voice sounds like it does now. If you listen to all my voiceover videos, like my books from Skyrim.
Yeah, you got the same as me, ain't you? That sound deadening thing.
Yeah, it's a nice. If you listen to when I'm doing like a pre-recorded thing, it sounds like proper voiceover. It's nice and clear. There's no background noise. There's no echo or boom. It's all leveled out. And the reason is two things. Firstly, I can go in and do a little bit of compression afterwards if I do a voiceover later. But when I do the voiceover here, if I'm recording live now, or if I'm recording and the microphone's there, my voice is bouncing off the shiny reflective workbench and back up to the mic. Now, my microphone's got like a deadening thing around it, like a shield, like Colin's got.
Oh, yeah.
But if I talk directly to the microphone now, it'll sound different. And if I put my head down on the bench like this, it'll suddenly go a bit more boomy.
Yeah.
Because if I talk to the microphone, the sound waves are bouncing off the foam insulator around the microphone and going into the microphone. If I talk down at the desk, it's bouncing and booming off everything, and it boosts the bass.
Yeah.
So when I do a voiceover, I do it over there, I take the microphone over there, and it's in open air, and it's got its sound deadening shield around it. It's beautiful. There's no echo, there's no boom, it's just nice, crisp audio.
Yeah, I just connect mine to my boom arm, and the Yeti's sitting facing up the way, and then I put my screen so that it comes down and around the back of the microphone. Yeah. And I just chat away, boom, done. And then it just sits up in the box on the top of the shelf there. When I'm not
you're quite lucky that your microphone position for your live stream is up in the air, so it's the same as your voiceover, so you get a nice clear recording on a live stream.
Yes,
I can't, because the microphone's there on the bench. I can't avoid all the echo.
Yeah, mine moves around. My webcam, this one here, is actually attached to the part of the Yeti microphone, so I can move it around. And
I have actually found that if I was to put a t-shirt down on this bench, or anything like a sheet or a towel, because sometimes I'll work with a towel on the bench to paint scraping off a model. When I do that, it deadens it completely, and it sounds like I'm doing a voiceover.
Yeah, I mean, right below my Yeti, what's a Yeti?
Yeah.
Right below me Yeti, I've got a 200mm computer fan going 10 to the dozen, because I've got my computer on a trolley just down by my right hand side, and I've got a fish tank just behind the Yeti. Hey, what was that?
That was that Siri?
Was it?
I don't know. It sounded like.
Oh no, Siri. I know what it was. It was my Alexa.
Okay, Alexa, play some really terrible music.
You'd have a job. I got my earpiece in.
Yeah. So if I put something down on the bench to stop the reflections, the audio reflections, it would sound like a voiceover. Yeah. I can't be working with a tea towel on my bench all the time. It looks stupid.
I mean, them screens, they really are so noticeable, aren't they? I mean, like I say, a hand width away from my microphone is my fish tank. You know, and you've got the pumps going and all of that lot. But
well, that's the beauty of the Yeti, because you've got it set on cardioid.
Yes.
Cardioid is basically a heart-shaped area right in front of the microphone, and it's designed for the kind of voiceover where your face is right up in the microphone.
Yeah.
Now, you don't have to do it that way, but that's what it's designed for, which means if you're in front of the microphone but a little way away, it'll still pick you up. I got that the right way around. But if you're not right in front of the microphone, it's not even going to even slightly pick you up at all.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty. That's why it's not picking up your fan, because it's nowhere near its little cardioid pickup pattern.
Because that's the one thing I sometimes forget is, because obviously it's by my right side just here with the camera.
Yeah.
I might be over here chatting, and then I'll go quite quiet because I've moved away from the microphone. But hopefully the stream doesn't pick it up too often.
Well, that's the problem I have when I'm doing streams like this, because if I look at the computer screen, which is over there, when you're showing off your Baneblade, like right now, for trouser tent, the microphone's here, but I'm looking over there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my voice is that way, and if you'll notice now, I'll go a bit quiet now because I'm not looking at the microphone.
Are you drooling? You are, aren't you?
Yeah, and I'm also my mouth's watering as well at the same time.
Do you want me to do it again?
Oh. How do you get sperm out of an office chair?
Oh, you're priceless.
But yeah,
of course you've got 6 turrets as well now.
oh, you're going to have to put so many orcs on that, though. You've got all your grots, but you need some serious orcs now as well. Though.
Yeah. You got a bit. It is. It's coming along nicely, I think.
That's like a battleship. It really is a goddamn battleship.
Yeah, no, and then obviously.
Still think it needs more guns.
Could do with something, couldn't it?
It's got a certain je ne sais quoi. I don't quite know what's missing.
And of course, you've got all these little dudes doing their things to go on as well.
Yeah.
So they'll all be.
You ain't got no missile rack on it yet, though.
No, I've got to figure out the barrel chucker.
Lynn's off, by the way.
See you later, Lynn.
I think she went ages ago, to be honest. So apologies if you missed you, Lynn.
Oh, bless her.
She says, it's interesting about the camera, but I'm going to night. Got to get up at the crack of dawn for work. Yes, I work this weekend.
Of course.
Aww.
Yeah. She's working this weekend. Bless her.
Yep. Johnny says he's got a Nikon Z6, but he prefers to use the old Leica Velux. It's just simpler to jump between photos and video. The Google Pixel 4 is pretty good with video, thinking of upgrading to the Nikon and Z9 next. The thing with me is, and my dad would hate me. My dad was a film and television cameraman for 40 years.
Oh, right.
I can't even explain what f-stop is. Right. I don't know how to work a camera. I can't tell you what an ISO means, what it is, what it means, how you use it. I've got no idea. So my dad would be oscillating violently in his urn right now.
I think your dad would be giving you the finger of shame.
He would be giving me all the fingers of shame. But the thing with that First Light app is it kind of makes it simple enough that I know what settings I need now.
Yeah.
And I will admit, I watched a few Craftsman videos when he explained about cameras a little bit, and it was like to idiot level, and I'm like, okay, I get it now. So
if you haven't seen Craftsman, you've got to.
You've got to subscribe to Craftsman. But if you gave me an SLR now or a DSLR, I wouldn't know what the hell to do with it. I'd be like, I don't want to. I spend too much time. I spend too much time setting up shots as it is. I wish I earned enough money that I could pay someone to do the camera work.
Yeah,
but I can't. So, and I don't know about cameras. So if you gave me a DSLR, I'd be like, wow, that's a nice paperweight.
Yeah.
So that's why I like my smartphone, because it's simple to use, and I know a DSLR would be much better, also more expensive, but I don't know how to work them, and I'm not that technically minded, so I'll stick with the smartphones. If it gives me 1080p and it looks half decent, I'll be fine.
More and more
Edward Leonard says
down that road. Sorry.
We have an update from Edward. Hang on, my earpiece has gone.
ISO is film speed. Laugh out loud, he says.
Hang on, I'm adjusting my earpiece. Keep talking for me.
Talkie.
Let me blow down my tube. Hang on.
Panzer Koenig says f-stop is the length of time the camera shutter.
I've not got my earpiece in, by the way, just for all the words you've just said for the last few minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
I've gone really quiet for some reason. It's me at my end.
Oh, right.
He says, are you, mind you, looking away from the microphone? I don't know.
Yeah, I was leaning over.
That's you. It wasn't me after all. It was you.
No, I was leaning forward. So I couldn't read it because it's over there, isn't it? I'm a man of a certain age.
I'm there trying to figure my earpiece out, and you're just leaning away from the microphone.
Sorry, mate. I'll just move my microphone a bit. Sorry about that, Geese. There you go.
So he says, Panzer says, yeah, Foxy f-stop is the length of the time the camera shutter remains open.
Oh, right, yeah.
Johnny says the same thing. The f-stop is the aperture opening, higher number, smaller opening. So, yeah, you open I understand that you open the aperture wider to let more light in.
Mm-hmm.
But I've seemed to have worked out on my iPhone with First Light, with my desk setup, an f-stop of 190. With a 23, I don't know what the 20 is like. You get 23 and then 190. I guess one is the shutter speed. I don't know. There's a number, and then there's a number that's a fraction. So 1/90 is, I guess, the f-stop.
Right.
And then the number above it, I guess, is the exposure. I don't know. But I put that at 23, and it gives me about the right level for this desktop. I have to boost it a little bit in processing, but not too much.
If it works, mate. That's all that matters, isn't it?
Yeah, Edward Leonard says the squishies are all tucked in and gone to bed.
Oh, happy days!
Yay! There is some research, you know, that thinks that jellies, even though they don't have a brain, there is some evidence to suggest that there is a potential that sea jellies, actually have some sort of sleep cycle.
Oh, right, yeah.
Even though they've got no brain.
How weird.
Because they've tracked their behaviours, and they do seem to behave differently at certain times of day. Their pulsing stops and changes, and they slow the rate down, they do different things, and then they go back to normal again.
Oh.
So, and there's this whole question of, like, with jellies, because they don't have a brain and they're not conscious, what happens? They can't not sleep, but they can't sleep because there's nothing to sleep with. So, very weird.
Yeah, but they are super cool to look at.
They are beautiful things. I want jellies. I want jellies. ISO is film speed. I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of it means. I don't know any of it. I just press some buttons and it films. But that's the thing. One of my goals with this channel, with my channel, is to get to the point where I own enough that I can. Like Duncan's got his Roger, if you pardon the expression.
Oh yeah.
I need a Roger. I'll rephrase that. That didn't come out right. I'll try that one again.
So it's normally me that does this.
I know it's normally you that does that. I need a good Roger. But yeah, I need someone to sit and do all the camera work, and maybe not the video editing, but that'd be nice. All I want to do is sit and paint and build things, but I can't because I've got to sit and set up the camera and the lights and do the filming and editing and transfer the footage and panic that it's out of focus. Yeah, I need to not be doing that. But until I earn a lot of money, until somehow this becomes massively profitable, it's never going to happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
have your own cameraman would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I mean, if I knew about cameras and stuff, it wouldn't be so bad. I'd be like, bam, 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 there you go, set up film. But I'm not. I don't know anything about cameras. I'm not a cameraman. I don't have any knowledge of such matters. So it just makes it a chore. It's like, I don't know, doing something you love but having to do something you hate beforehand. Like, imagine, I'm trying to think of something. Imagine, I don't know.
Yeah, we know what you meant.
Imagine you like sewing, but before you have to sew, you have to go and clear a horse's stall out of all the horse shit.
Yeah.
Every time. You're not going to enjoy sewing, are you? It's going to take the shine off.
Sit there and go, do you know something? I don't want none of that.
Yeah, it certainly takes the shine off. So, one day, hopefully. One day I'll have my Roger. Where's me Matt?
Yeah. How are we going to crowd fund Fox getting Rogered?
Yeah. Let's get Fox Roger. Let's get Fox a good Roger crowdfund.
Yeah, we'll put a hashtag out on all our Sunday shows for that. See how long it is before our channels get pulled.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to go well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all gone wrong now. At least buy dinner first before you get the Roger, says Chaos.
Absolutely.
Yes, at night when I turn the light off, they go into a coma, says Edward Leonard. But they can't. They've not got a brain. Mm-hmm. Edward Leonard says some words and numbers. ISO in America is the film you would buy. Say an ISO 400 would shoot better in low light, but ISO 100 would be daylight. No.
Sort of technical, isn't it?
I think it means. I assume it means that the film can handle. The film can react to light faster. So if I've got a low light situation and I open the shutter for 1 second, it can get a lot more information on the film and developed. Assuming we're talking film here.
Yeah.
Than a a slow speed film, which would take longer for the crystals in the film to react, and therefore you get less of an image. I think that's where it comes from. I don't know, I'm making it up. I'm pulling that out of my arse now, I don't know.
Hey, mate, it sounds good. Sounds plausible to me, mate. I'm in there.
Yeah, I believed every word I just said.
Absolutely.
And I'm an idiot.
That bloke knows what he's on about.
That bloke's a natter.
Yeah, nah.
Don't talk to me, I need a good Roger, so.
Yeah, I must admit, that's normally me that says that sort of stuff. It's nice to see someone else finally do it.
It's what, having a Festa moment.
Yeah,
you didn't know that Festa was a name and a verb. he festered.
Yeah. Yeah, I fester and I am Festa.
The lower ISO, the finer the grain. But low ISOs need more light. I've given up now. It's gone well beyond. You're almost talking like maths, and when people talk about maths, I fall asleep and I go glassy-eyed, and everything goes wrong, and I panic. So I've actually given up trying to understand that now. Even my dad tried to teach me about film and cameras and stuff, and he gave up. He was like, you know what, forget it.
Did you give that look of disappointment that only a dad can give?
Well, it was the look of disappointment that only a dad and a 50-year film and television camera veteran can give you when you can't figure out how to work a camera.
Oh,
he said, you know what? No, it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
he's been doing it for like 50 years. So he grew up with film cameras, proper film newsreel cameras. Graduated to television, so.
Yeah, those big chunky cameras that used to go around on a cushion of air at the TV studios.
Oh yeah, I played with them many a time when I went with him to work.
They weigh something like 2 or 3 tons or something stupid like that.
No, but they are really big and heavy, and they are on a little air cushion. All the pipes coming out the bottom.
Yeah.
But it's amazing because you just got all they've got is like literally a controller on one of the, and this is in the 1980s. And it's like it's literally like a little joystick, or a little sort of switch, zoom in and out, and that's it. Your zoom control, and everything else is you manually move it. And there's focus, of course. I think focus was on the. I can't remember how it worked it now. I think focus was like a motorbike grip. I think the grip. How did it work?
Yeah, wasn't it like dolly grips and that sort of thing?
It was like a
throttle.
I don't know. It was like a grip, and then there was like a little switch that you could rocker that way, like a rocker switch, but on a tube, so it would go around. And there was one on. I think there was one on this. I can't remember now. It's a long time ago, going back 35 years now. But they were awesome to play with. I was there zooming in and out and focusing and stuff.
Oh, you was proper having a child moment then.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget, I was like a 3.5 foot tall child. And there's a television camera there for a proper 6 foot tall bloke, and I'm like, ah.
Yeah, what does this button do? Bzz.
But it made me realise that the real skill of the cameraman is not pointing the camera and getting it in focus, but filming a moving target and adjusting the focus as you go to keep the target in.
Yeah.
Like if he's filming an actor walking across the set, he's got to keep the actor in shot and keep the actor in focus while he's moving the camera.
Yeah.
That was the skill. I mean, television cameraman didn't require any great knowledge of how to film a camera because it was kind of a big camera and it was just zoom and focus basically. That was it. It was kind of like taken care of. You didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
He was a lighting cameraman, so he had to take care of all the lighting and stuff as well. So, but yeah, he gave up trying to teach me. He's like, "You're an idiot. You don't know anything. You're never going to figure this out." And I'm like, "Yeah, pretty much."
Yeah. Are you proud of me yet, Dad?
I'd be like, "Yeah, it's brilliant. Will you buy me a synthesizer instead?"
Yeah.
So he gave up trying to teach me about camera work, photography.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah. That was his life, you see. It's where he got his break doing film work and stuff. He was part of there's a little movement in the 50s, and I can't remember what they were called. Like this movement, it was a very small, sort of factual but slightly arty film technique where they'd film real people doing real stuff.
Oh, right.
A bit like, because at the time it was like, newsreels and stuff, but they were going out and filming, real life stuff. Like one of the films they did was they did a little half-hour documentary about the decline of the steam rail industry, and it was about the people that worked in the steam industry, like what was called engine men.
Yeah.
And it was about the people that maintained the steam trains and ran the yards and did all the stuff, and how their jobs were fading away. The whole way of life was going away with the advent of electric trains in the 50s. And it was really just film of them doing working class men things, like in the pub and talking about their jobs.
It's surprising how much of that's all been lost, though, isn't it, over the years, all of that. What I would call Britishness, oldie stuff, you know.
But
it's all gone, isn't it?
They were kind of, in a way, him and his little group it was him and his mates that had this company, or this little studio they set up, and it just filmed these little films. And it was the start of this kind of, I can't remember what they called it. It was a little wave of like true-to-life cinema, where it wasn't a production and it wasn't a newsreel with the guy saying, and here is the chap now making his model train, and there we go, lovely.
Yeah,
it wasn't that.
Family Warner, yeah.
It was literally, they'll go there, they'll film it, and then there'll be no commentary, there'll just be the voices of the people. And sometimes the footage didn't match the audio. They'd call people talking, like the people they're filming, and they'll just have footage of them overlaid underneath, and it was like, there was a name for it, and I can't remember what the hell the movie. It was only a really tiny little movement, but it was kind of a groundbreaking movement in British cinema in the 50s. And I'm proud that my dad was part of that. He's on Wikipedia and everything.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah,
so he should be, mate.
Yeah, and he's listed on the British Film Institute.
Oh,
yeah. But I was quite proud to find him on Wikipedia. I mean, he didn't know, he never knew he was on Wikipedia, but I just looked up his name, like, oh, that's my dad, that is. Oh, there. And he's there as a picture of them doing some filming in a train yard, and you can just see the back of his head. But I know it's my dad because he's got curly, whirly, high-tower black Scottish hair.
Yeah.
And he's got a really cool 1950s duffel coat because it's in the 1950s. And like, that's me dad there. I can tell by the curly, whirly, high-tower hair.
That's my dad, that is. Not your dad. My dad.
Yeah.
Happy days, mate.
All right. I can't remember what the name of the little cinema movement. It was like not a cinema verite, and it wasn't. It was like, because there wasn't as much like documentary style wasn't a thing in those days. You didn't send a film crew out to film the working man in a working man environment. You know, this was before the days of proper British hardcore drama like Sophie's Choice and things like that.
Yeah.
It was before all those scandals. It was in the days of newsreels. It was all chipper and cheery and very sanitised.
Proper British.
Yeah. Yeah. Weird. I say. So it was quite revolutionary.
Nothing beats watching old British newsreel.
I'll tell you what. If you want a good time, go and watch some of the stuff on the Pathé News YouTube channel.
Oh, right.
The company still exists, and they license out their footage basically. That's how they exist.
Yeah.
And there's so much good. And you've got that Hugh Danvers What's-It doing a lot of the voiceover. It's just so good.
Oh,
there's lots of model making videos, but some of them are just I've just watched all kinds of crazy stuff on there in the last few weeks, and they're great.
Yeah, you can't beat a bit of that.
No. This is David Johnson. He has a railway in his shed.
Yeah. You may notice. Yeah.
For most people, the day starts at 9 and finishes at 5. But for Mr. Smith here, the day finishes at 5 and then starts again. Working on the rails by day, and on the rails by night at home.
And he walks along like he's walking about 300 mile an hour.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Bless him. Got to drill a barrel out now. Got to drill a barrel or two.
Only two. You sure it ain't free? Free for a pound.
Free for a pound. No, it's a stubber, so it's always a bit of a pain to get this done. Stubularity. Kind of in the middle, just about. Near enough. Not that I can't clean it out.
Johnny says he's saving up for a Nikon Z9.
I know, because I read that one. I read that one.
You read that out already, you have, haven't you?
Yeah, I haven't I? Done it again, haven't you, Fest?
Yeah, my plan on... let's have a look at the chat then, kind of really well.
Oh, no, actually, take it back now. That was somebody else that mentioned the Nikon Z9.
Yeah, and a high-end lens for photographing racing boats and sailboats this summer.
I'm assuming that's a proper... Is it a DSLR, Johnny, or is it an SLR? I'm assuming it's a DSLR. It's all DSLRs nowadays, isn't it?
Well, I mean, I watch a lot of the motorcycle racing, and I always take me hat off to the cameraman doing that, because to catch the bikes that are doing, 220 mile an hour, pin perfect and track them is just...
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah.
My dad used to film football. He used to go out on the OB vans and filming football for Granada, for ATV.
Absolutely, because you're good. Go on.
He said that was kind of boring because they're not exactly fast moving and it's really, really cold.
Yeah.
Because they used to stand like way up above the stands, almost on the roof where the camera, and it's like the football's going on like 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
And you're zoomed in as much as you can, and it's just really, really cold. And he hated that. He wasn't into sport at all, and he hated filming football.
Oh, absolutely. And if you go trackside, it's normally always some poor bloke who's been lifted up in one of these cranes, the baskets on the end of a boom arm.
Yep, he did that a few times.
And it's like, yeah.
Although he did say the worst one, it wasn't football that was the worst one. The worst one was crown green bowling.
Oh, yeah,
It was the Bass Masters, or as he used to call it, the Masked Bastards, crown green bowls. He said, for no other reason than it was really, really boring.
Yeah, I can imagine progress was slow.
He said, it's so boring to film because nothing's happening. It's so tedious. And it's all like 1,000-year-old blokes going up, come by, and it's just so boring.
Always running after the ball. Yeah, okay. What's the other one? Curling, isn't it? Where they throw a lump of rock and do a bit of sweeping up as they go along.
He never did that.
It's like, okay.
But he used to say he used to hate the football, but he hated the bowls even more.
Yeah.
He used to hate it because it was so boring. He said, to be fair though, the bowling was normally like the weather was better.
Yeah.
And if it was the indoor crown green bowls, it was breaks you indoors, no problem. He said, but it was just like so boring.
Yeah, you're like, losing the will to live.
Yep. Was it type of filmmaking called social realism? It might have been, but I'm not sure. Johnny says the guy at the camera shop's trying to get me to switch to Sony DSLRs. I don't know anything about anything, really. Yeah,
all I know is it's loads of ones and zeros, and it's like, okay.
I don't know nothing about anything. No, thank you.
I'll stick to my old iPhone.
Yep, I mean, I say I'm too stupid for my shirt. I'm too stupid for my shirt. Too stupid. It hurt. That's almost a song. I'm far too inept, and I at least with the iPhone. If I hadn't had an iPhone when I first did a video, I wouldn't have got into video making. Because I never would have. It really was. I mean, my first couple of years of videos are terrible because I didn't know what I was doing. It was like click and point, but it doesn't matter because it meant I learned that it wasn't hard to film things. It wasn't, because to me, I wouldn't know how to film anything on a camera, an actual camera. I just no chance. No idea.
We all sort of started off along them lines, didn't we? With sort of old 480p camcorders or whatever.
Yep.
I think it was you that got me into filming with the iPhone, because you've got an old iPhone already. I've got one sat there.
Yeah,
why didn't you use that?
I mean, I've always filmed in 1080p. I never started off, thankfully, below that in 720. But that was only because at the time I had my iPhone was one that could do 1080p. So
yeah.
In a time when a lot of cameras couldn't. So I was lucky. So I always did 1080p. But I don't feel the need to go up to 4K. I could do. The camera can film 4K, but it takes 4 times as long to edit.
Yes.
4 times as long to upload. And it's like, you know what?
Most people are watching in 1080 anyway, so what's the point of going 4K?
Well, and the other thing I've always said is, if I was doing gameplay, I might stream that in 4K or film it.
Yeah.
I can record it in 4K, and that's worth it. If I'm showing somebody how to glue this bit on there, it doesn't need to be in 4K.
No.
Because if you watch a 1080p video of me gluing 2 things together on a 4K monitor, it upscales it and it looks all right. It doesn't really matter.
It's like, it's just Yeah, it's an unneeded luxury.
I don't need to spend 4 times as long importing the video files and processing them before I get to the end of the video.
No, blow that for a game of soldiers.
Yeah. Diddly bomber, diddly bomber, diddly bomber, diddly bomber. It was called Free Cinema. I just found it. I don't know if it was that. It might have been Free Cinema. It was a very small movement, but it was quite pivotal in the days of like filmmaking and documentary filmmaking.
Yeah, but when you think about it, that era was such an advancement, wasn't it, in the medium? So,
oh yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing, you know. He was still filming on like 16mm Bell and Howell, effectively clockwork cameras.
Bloody hell!
You know, and he'd get like a few minutes of footage.
Yeah,
and there wouldn't be any. There's no sound.
No.
And that's where they record the interviews later on and match them all up. And I've actually got somewhere in the front room an old 16mm Bell and Howell camera.
Wow.
And it's like, you know, you put the film in, it's like you can wind it up.
Yeah.
And it goes, beautiful piece of kit, but it doesn't have a viewfinder on it.
Oh, okay.
There's a little glass bit that's all frosted. You have to buy a parallax viewfinder. You could buy separately a parallax viewfinder, but you didn't get one with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was at one point, because he bought this basically at a flea market.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, you know what I could do with that? I could mount it on a tripod and I could do animation, because I got the little. It came with a little bulb to do frame by frame advancement.
Oh, like the old stop motion stuff.
Yeah, because the old film cameras, if you turn it, you wind it up and let it go.
Yeah.
You pull the trigger, or you can do the trigger for one frame. So I could have done animation, but I could never find a parallax viewfinder for it.
You could have done proper Wallace and Gromit stuff, couldn't you?
Yeah, but it comes in a proper leather like case, brown and all weathered and worn. It's great. It's a proper old newsreel film camera with like newsreel box and stuff. I'll have to dig it out one day.
I'd be in the element with stuff like that.
Yeah, but I think it stopped working. It kind of seized up at one point. It's just been in a box for 30 years. So
yeah.
But yeah, we could never find a parallax viewfinder for it, so we could never use it. I used to enjoy winding it up and...
Yeah.
Grateful. It was only later in life I realised, because he retired by that point, been retired for a long time.
Yeah.
I was like, why is he buying all these old cameras and stuff in car boot sales? And I kind of realised it was just kind of harking back to the old days that he grew up with.
All right, yeah.
And it's like, you know, if I had the money now, I'd buy myself a few synthesizer analog synths, and I'd get an old reel-to-reel Tascam 388 studio recorder with a mixing desk built in, and it's a reel-to-reel studio quarter-inch recording unit.
Well, mate, yeah, you're gonna.
When you know. And you might think, well, why don't you just buy a computer-based one or a hard drive studio? No, I want an old reel-to-reel Tascam 388 like I used to have 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Because what I used to use, and it's like what my dad was doing. He was buying things that he used to use when he was a younger man.
Oh, mate, the amount of stuff we had back then that we sort of slung away because the newest thing come in. You sit there and you think, God, if only I'd kept that.
Yeah.
Vintage tech seems to be a big thing now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I used to have a little 8-track hard drive recording unit.
Yeah.
This is the days before you could just do it on your PC.
Yeah.
So I used to have this little sort of hard drive unit that came with I think it was a 1 gig drive or something, hard drive, late 90s.
Yeah.
And it had like a little piece that you pulled off, and it had a cable. It had the volume meters were all digital, and you could press all the buttons. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And that was great. But for some reason, I preferred the feel and sound of the reel-to-reel machine.
Yeah.
Even though I couldn't use MIDI, and I had to buy a motion picture SMPTE time encoding box to plug into it to make a time code track.
Yeah.
So I could get things to sync up to MIDI if I wanted to do anything like that. So, but great. It made me more creative. Digital setup made me less creative. Yeah. So yeah, if I could do that now and go back to all the old get synthesizers and get the recording going on again, I'd go for the old reel-to-reel stuff.
Oh, definitely. Wins hands down, doesn't it?
It forced me to go manual and not to rely on sequencing everything. Get a bit of the old Vangelis style stuff coming out.
It's like you say, though, you see that stuff now, and the money some of it goes for, you're like, yeah.
I mean, I sold mine for about 450 quid, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
Worth a lot more than that now.
God, I bet you could kick yourself for that.
No, because I needed to get rid of all that stuff. I needed the space. It was keep all my synthesizers and rack and equipment that I wasn't using, or put this bench in place. And I kind of stopped doing music at that point for a couple of years. So, but if I was to go back now, I wouldn't be buying. I'd be buying. It'd have to be synthesizers with twiddly knobs. They wouldn't need to be necessarily vintage, but I wouldn't want any synthesizers with DAC controls where it's dials and a screen. Don't want that. I want twiddly knobs.
No, it's got to be all the buttons, bells and whistles, mate.
Yep. I got sick of little tiny screen when doing all my settings, and now I got sick of that. I want twiddly knobs.
Yeah.
There you go, proper analog styly.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, you do some talking for a bit. I've done talking for ages.
What you could do with is someone sort of stripping down an old recording studio or something like that,
and then just giving it to me.
Yeah, coming around and saying, "See this recording studio? Yeah, this is all yours."
And well, I'd be like, "Well, can you do me a favour? Yeah, can you put it back in the other building and then just give me that building as well because I can't fit it."
Yeah. You get the building and everything that goes with it, mate. It would be mint, wouldn't it?
I'd love it. I do sometimes yearn, wish that I was still doing it, but there's various reasons I kind of fell out of doing it.
Yeah, would it be the same now as it was then? Because it was sort of cutting edge, wasn't it, back then? Whereas now, like you say, you can do quite a lot of it on a PC, can't you? So,
well, I mean, it wasn't all cutting edge and stuff. I say my reel-to-reel unit was already 15 years old when I was using it.
Yeah.
So by that point, it had been superseded by digital in a lot of ways, but now there's a whole movement now for the retro style, for the old analog synths and the kind of the Tascam 388 that I had, the studio unit.
Yeah.
There's a whole movement of people that use exclusively those for their recordings, proper modern dance and house and trance and all kinds of. They actually specifically use the Tascam 3. There's a huge following for it, for the sort of slightly noisy quality it gives you music and the grittiness.
Yeah. Well, my hi-fi separates in the lounge. There's got attached to it a turntable that is linear.
Hang on, dude. I'm gonna have some headphone issues here. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Edward Leonard saying, laugh out loud. Bubble. That was kind of like my first camera purchase. It was so I could do stop animation. He made a film with clay and it was all right. It was on 8mm projector. My God.
Oh, yeah. 8mm.
But yeah, my hi-fi next door in the lounge has got a turntable attached to it. There's linear tracking.
Yeah, linear tracking.
Yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, 8mm was like the consumer size film stock, and 16mm was like newsreel size.
Yeah.
Not quite motion picture, which was 32mm, but
yeah. It was 8mm, the old cine camera type stuff. It was
8mm was your home film camera.
Yeah.
Newsreel stuff was always 16.
Yeah.
And I think motion picture was, I think it was 32, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Might have been bigger. Like your proper, Panavision and stuff was just even bigger, but you wouldn't film newsreel stuff on proper motion picture film stock because it was far too vastly expensive.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't film on 8mm because that was for your mum and dad with the little handheld Super 8.
Yeah.
Filming the kids at Pontins in the 1960s.
That was it. Yeah. Yeah, because I can remember my mum had the little home projector, the little tiny reels on it, and it was like, shonky video of this is my youngest lad riding his plastic bus down the street, and there's Festa.
But the irony is, with those old, not necessarily Super 8 cameras, but with the old 8mm film cameras, you could have got what you could have filmed would look better than any video camera that came in the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
it would be far superior. The problem was, of course, the cameras were garbage because they were just cheap cameras that came designed for 8mm film.
Yeah.
And nobody knew how to use them anyway. So the film stock, 8mm was still really good film stock. If you know what you're doing with 8mm film, you can make motion picture quality stuff on there.
Yeah.
If you're careful and you know the lighting and stuff, and so the film stock, it's the fact that they were doing consumer grade cameras, which are usually garbage and couldn't have too much focus and settings and stuff. That's why it's the same like video cameras. You know, video cameras were the broadcast standard for in the 1980s and 90s, but everybody had a video camera at home and filmed like a chud.
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody could film anything. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Used to make the legs on the tripod bow. It was that heavy.
Yep. I mean, I remember when my dad went freelance for a little while in the late 80s, early 90s. He went freelance for a bit, so he had a proper honking video camera, Betamax video camera.
Yeah.
But it wasn't a consumer camera. It was an industry standard.
Oh, like a broadcast quality.
Broadcast quality, but not broadcast as in you wouldn't film in a studio with it. But it's you'd send the film crew out to report on a story, and that's the camera they'd have.
Yeah.
To film some footage on a Betamax tape, to then come back to the studio and transcribe it and stuff. So, and that was massive. That thing was huge, and we've still got on a shelf in one of the bedrooms like a whole stack of old like late 80s Betamax tapes, probably with somebody's wedding on it or something. I don't know what he filmed. We've got no way to watch them now, but God knows what's on there. But it'll be like raw footage of weddings or whatever. He used to rent the equipment, so all this he like offered to film weddings and stuff, but on proper broadcast quality footage. I don't know. So all these videos, I said to someone on my Fox the other day, I said all these videos on that shelf, they're about 35 years old now. People's weddings are on there, and they don't even know we've got their wedding on a shelf.
I know, it's mad, isn't it? Some of the videos you have. Because I went through a stage where I was copying all the videos over, you know, because I got a video recorder and DVD recorder. And I was moving everything over to disc, but you come across old footage, you know, of this. Us going to the local farm with two little 2-year-old brats, you know what I mean? It's like, yes, we got ammo on the kids now.
Oh, yeah. Sean Wiles says movies with 35mm, that's it, 35. I knew it was something like that. 35mm was motion picture standard film. He says, unless you're David Lean, in which case it's 70mm. 70mm was like proper widescreen, Panavision.
Yeah.
Big stuff. The funny thing is, if you watch old TV shows, especially anything where they'd be indoors and then outdoors, what they used to do in the 70s and 80s, they used to film indoors on video.
Oh, right.
A lot of times. But outdoors would film on film because you couldn't take a video. In the 70s and 80s, you couldn't take a big clunking video camera out into the outside world. You had to film. So whenever you watch like an old 70s or 80s, say, sitcom or soap opera or something like that, if you watch a British one, I don't know about American, if you watch carefully, if you watch like The Good Life or Bread or anything like that, watch the indoor sections, and then carefully watch the outdoor sections. The quality changes. The indoor sections will be a bit artifacty and a bit like video quality, but when you suddenly when you've got like, you know, Barbara and whatever in the house in The Good Life, and they suddenly go outside, the quality looks different. It looks better.
Yeah, it's almost like newsreel quality outside, isn't it?
Well, it's almost like proper, you know, 16mm, 35. It could be 35mm probably, but it's because they couldn't in those days take the video cameras outside. They were stuck in the studio, so they had to film on film. But it was too expensive to film everything on film, so they had no choice but to film out. So whenever you see an old series like that, and the quality of an outdoor shot looks different, it's because it's on film.
The reason why.
Yeah, indoors with video, because video wasn't that great then, but they still used it. Come on, what we're doing now. Anyway, I'm sure this is boring. This conversation is boring everybody.
No, not at all. People are still tuning in. Bless them.
Are you eating crisps? It sounds like you're eating crisps.
No, I'm putting greeballs in a bag.
Why are you not eating crisps?
Because I had crisps earlier on.
There's no way to answer that, is there really?
Yeah.
Why are you not eating? Why are you not doing something?
I had Marmite crisps earlier, mate.
Marmite crisps. Well, I haven't got any crisps. I had a big box of cheese and crisps, but they've all gone now.
Yeah, I had a bag of Marmite. And I was like, yeah, I'm having them.
Can never get them back. Now, oh, hello, morning, Vicar. I'm wondering if I can not glue these guns on, but I think they get trapped in by the armour plating.
Guns.
I was hoping, there you go, guns, you see. I was hoping to not glue them in, but I think I'm going to have to.
Not have enough gunnage, mate.
You can never have enough guns. Sun's out, guns out. I heard that.
Yeah, got a bit of gunnage, mate.
You know what we've not had in the stream at all tonight?
What's that?
Which we're sorely poorer for. There's been no accidental dad trumps.
No.
We're all the poorer for it.
The thing is, he tries to stifle them in the hope that it makes it better, and it makes it worse.
Yeah. Johnny says it sounds like crisps.
No, it was my
Revelage. All them bits. I actually found when I went into my big Crusader case the other day, because so many people have sent me bits and stuff and things over the the last few years. Thought I've forgotten who sent me what and what I've been sent. So I went into my Crusader case the other day where I fully know that I've got like so many Imperial Guard and so many of this, and I found like 3 bags of like an extra 20 Imperial Guard dudes I didn't even know I had. Because it was like, here's a bag full of torsos, a bag full of all the arms, and a bag full of all the legs, and I'm like, did somebody send me like a whole squad of dudes I didn't even remember? Wow, that's awesome. I'm like, I've got even more Imperial Guard to paint. Oh.
I know Vince sent you a load over, didn't he?
Yeah, but somebody sent me like a bag of basically taking all the guys off the sprues and just put them in a bag in separate. They kept all the torsos, legs, and arms separate. Yeah. Heads. I've forgotten all about that. Or maybe I bought them online. I don't actually know. I can't remember.
Yeah, I mean that's one thing I've done. I've bought odd little greeblets and things and stuff. So
I was watching a video this morning from Uncle Atom. I've forgotten what his channel's called. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway. He was saying like 5 things some things you shouldn't do, you should not do in this hobby. And he said one of them is if you're doing like production line painting where you've got like X number of models, and doing a production line, like a factory production. If you're painting 10 dudes, don't paint one dude and then paint the next dude. Just paint them in a production line. Paint the red bits, one, and then do all the blue bits. He says, however, there's diminishing returns. If you do like 10 or 11. You'll be alright. If you do like 30 of them, you'll lose the will to live. And I'm thinking, I've got 50 Death Corps of Krieg at least. I've got probably 70 or 80 Imperial Guard. I've probably got about 40 or 50 Tempestus Scions. I'm going to have about 30 or 40 Imperial Space Marines.
And you were saying that I had a big paint job to do on the Baneblade.
Yeah. But that's just, it's like all my Imperial Guard, they're all going to be the same colour, but I've got like, I can't just put like 50 or 60 dudes in front of me and paint them. I know. I have to be in chunks of 10. No. Fox, I think you need to purge. If you've not used something in 10 years, bin it. Unless it's worth something. Well, those things on the shelf, Mama Fox probably keeps them because they belong to my dad. Yes. But also, she probably hasn't been up on the top of that shelf for 20 years anyway, and she probably didn't even remember they were there. So... yeah, I can't ask her to throw stuff out. She might want to keep it.
Yeah, it could be there for sentimental reasons.
It's probably there because it's for forgotten reasons. Let's just be perfectly honest. You'd be surprised some of the junk in this house. It's like 40 years
mate,
old.
I've got boxes up in the loft that we put up there the day we moved in this house, and we've been living here 30 years. It's like,
I've got boxes up in the loft that I put in there 3 or 4 days ago, and then D'Agostini sent me some more stuff.
Oh, that's hilarious. That is.
But the thing is, I got all the X-Wing stuff. It was in a big box in the front room with all the other bits and bobs. Because the front room is just basically my storage room for stuff. And I put them all up, and it made a big space. And so I was like, right, now I can finally get some more Warhammer stuff in there. It's all nice and tidy now. So I've got to go and put it all back in the front room again. There's nowhere to put it, and I've got nowhere to store it in the boxes. I've got nowhere to. If I film it on this bench, I'm going to have to take everything off the bench, all my storage units and my hobby zone drawers every time. And I don't know where I'm going to put it when I've finished it. It's like, it gives me the yips just trying to think about how the hell I'm going to disassemble my workbench every time I need to film it.
Oh, the pressures of being a YouTube guru, eh?
I wouldn't say I'm either any of those things, but I don't know. It still sounds like crisps. You're making me hungry.
That's the thing, though, isn't it? When we start building stuff, you get to that point where you're having to think, right, okay, I'm building this now. Where am I going to put it when it's done?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem I'm having right now, because a lot of the times I build something, paint it, and sell it, but I can't do that right now.
No.
And I'm getting egg bound, for want of a better phrase. That's why I'm having to stick to like doing lots of building and putting things in storage boxes and not painting much.
Yeah.
Because once I've painted, if I build something, I've got a couple of the Easy Storage Box Company, just plastic storage boxes. I can pop the lid off, put the built thing in a Ziploc bag and put it in there. It's fine. It can be piled up in there. And it can sit there for years. Once I paint it, it needs to go into a box and be sold.
Yeah.
And I can't do that. And I've got no cabinet space for painted models. So I'm like, that's why I've not been able to do much painting, because I've got nowhere to put the damn things.
Yeah, I'm at that sort of running out of shelf space now. So I'll probably end up keeping like the growl builds and selling off some of the other bits and bobs. Don't know. We'll see. I keep thinking about it, but whether I do it is another matter.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with me. The moment I can, go to the post office again and do stuff, I can then get stuff on eBay and sell it, and then that keeps the space free, and it keeps my mojo going.
Yeah,
it's a half of my income was the models that I was selling, and because I can't do that, it kind of kills your mojo to finish anything, because you're thinking, well, I can't sell it.
No, I've never sold a model kit, but
never done what? Sorry.
I've never sold a model kit. I've given them away.
Yeah, you should sell them, dude.
But yeah, it's something I've never really. I've like, who'd want to buy one of my builds? You know what I mean? But
don't matter. I thought the same way, and I was always like, I don't really want to part with them because I'm proud of my work, and and then I kind of realised once I finish that model, it goes on the shelf, and I never look at it again. Yeah, I never think about it again. I couldn't give a crap about it again. It just gets forgotten. It's just it's money sitting on a shelf that that I'm not getting. It's a cabinet full of potential money that I'm just not getting. So, given the fact that I never look at them again, I don't really care. It took me a while to get used to it, because you'd be attached to them. After a while, you're like, you know what? I don't care. Just sell it. Go.
The way I look at it is, I've filmed them. I've got the footage of the film. I can watch it anytime I want. So this is where the e-models thing for me comes in, because you get to build the kit and then obviously you send it back. So that for me is perfect.
Yeah, because you don't get your space taken up.
Absolutely. So,
but it did take a long time to get past that. But it's my baby and I made it, because I had to force myself to say, look, once it goes on that shelf, you never look at it again.
Absolutely, you get the because you've got to keep dusting it.
Yeah, if anything, it's like I'm bored of a model before I've even finished painting it, so why would I want to keep? In the end, I was like, you know what? I need the money. It's a profit decision. Somebody else can get the enjoyment of it. Once I've finished it, I don't need to.
I've had it before. Mates have come round and gone, oh, I like that model there. That's nice, And as they go, I go, well, take that with you. And they look at you and they're like, what? I go, well, you said you liked it. It's yours now.
Now you're like, give me a couple of £100 and you can have it. What? Well, you said you liked it, and I need the money, so give me the money.
So that's kind of what I've tended to do with them over the years. But
you tried that a few times. They've got no friends left.
Yeah, this is why I get no visitors.
You'd like to come round? No, I've got no money. Okay.
Well, that's how I've always tended to do it. Is like one of my nephews, he liked one of my builds. I said, just take it away with you, mate. I've had my fun with it because I built it.
Yeah.
But it does tend to throw people. Oh, well, I'll buy you another kit to replace it. Please don't. I've got no room as it is.
Yeah. Really good. The space issue is an issue.
Yeah. Give me some paint, some stuff like that. But
a minor fit issue here, which is kind of annoying.
Oh, you're going to get your... I've got a fit issue face on.
No, it's just I can't quite figure out. Like when you've got a piece of the model that won't go in properly and you can't quite see where it won't go in properly.
Yeah.
Something somewhere is catching, but you can't quite determine exactly where.
Yeah.
And it's weird. It's like a detective puzzle.
Edward Leonard's put gunnage in bold.
Gunnage.
Gunnage. Loads of gunnage.
I can't quite see what's the hold up on this piece. Something not quite lining up. I can't quite fathom where it is. Unless I'm doing it wrong. I don't think
Is that one of those really clear sets of Warhammer instructions again?
No, it's fairly straightforward. It's just it doesn't seem to lock in on one side, and I don't quite know why. I can't see where the catch point is. I can't see what's getting in the way of what else, if that makes sense. Try the other side and see if that one fits. The other side.
They're not handed, are they, buddy?
No, well they are. They're chiral, yeah, but the other one's the same. It doesn't seem to want to straighten up going straight, which is weird. This definitely doesn't seem to be right. Unless I'm being exceptionally... No, that's right. I've got it right. Unless I put something else on the bar, I don't know. It's entirely possible. It could be at this point that I've put something else on the around that completely screwed the pooch utterly, but I doubt it.
Paul D. Tommaso's off. He's getting tired, so he's going to bed. No worries,
All right, Paul,
mate.
take care, buddy.
No problem, mate. I mean, we're only on another 20 minutes anyway. So, Panzer Koenig says, right, folks, lunch break is over. Have a good day. Stay safe and be good to each other. We always are,
lunch break,
mate.
that. Take care, buddy. Why is that not going in? Have I glued something on the wrong way here? No.
Iron Man 129 says, I've just spent a few hours scratch building a wheel assembly for a set of 172-ish aircraft sets that he butchered off a toy lorry. It just needs a repaint as it still looks like a toy. Haha, good man.
Cool.
Scratch building's good, mate.
Good for the soul if you're Colin. It's a nightmare hellscape if you're me.
Gives you a good opportunity to get the saw of goodness out, mate. We all like the saw of goodness.
Saw of goodness.
And yeah, look, I've got more guns as well to go on it.
Oh, twin bolters.
Yeah. See, gunnage is good. Be like Festa.
This is frustrating me mightily now.
We've got to have swear box of funnage.
If I can't get these bits to go on, it's kind of project over for this model. But I can't see why they're not fitting. I don't understand. I think I see where the problem might be, but I can't be certain for sure what's going on.
Has it got to have knife off trimmage moment, has it?
It might be. Trimularity. I don't know though, because it's also something I can't quite get to trim it either. Well, actually I could do. I don't know. There's like a little plate that sticks out here with a little notch.
Yeah.
There's a hole here that it goes into, but it seems to be something down there is catching, but I'm not 100% sure.
That's going to be one of those persuasion fit moments, isn't it?
I don't know. I can't quite see which... I can't see well enough to see which bit isn't wanting to go in. I can't see where there's like a surface that's catching or not fitting properly, but I don't know why that would be the case. I'm not sure the bit I can see is the bit... They don't show you around the back exactly what that bit looks like. Most frustrating. I need a view from the rear, but I can't quite see exactly how it fits in. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Come on, Gimpatron, get in. See, that bit fits there. Something not quite right. I don't want to force anything, but...
No, because you'll hear that crackage of doom, mate. That's normally what happens to me. You drop something, you move your chair back to look for it, and you hear crunch.
Yep.
It's like,
I think we're going to have to do some hacking here.
Oh, you're getting the saw out. Good man.
No, I'm just getting the knife out and cutting a little chunk out there. I think this little recess is catching on something. I could be wrong, but if I am, at least it looks like it's meant to be looking like that.
Do you think it could be a moulding problem, perhaps?
Well, it's more likely it's an idiot problem.
I was trying to big you up there, mate.
Oh, actually, yeah. Perfectly fit now. Basically, I don't know if you can see here, there's a little foot plate here.
Just bang your full screen, mate.
There's a little foot plate here with a little square notch there. You see that little step there?
Yeah, I can see it.
That little step is supposed to go into that recess there.
Oh.
But that recess there isn't big enough. So when I'm trying to put that recess there, it's not big enough. So when I'm trying to put this piece on, it's lining up except there.
Yeah.
It's catching. So what I had to do was take a little tiny sliver of this off. So if I take that there, little tiny sliver there.
Yeah.
I can do it without gouging my face off.
Yeah, don't amputate your finger, mate.
Yeah, I'll try not to. It's always a winner. Tiny sliver of plastic there. Just a little bit. Try and keep it straight, 90 degrees. It's nice soft plastic, which means it's carving it is actually really easy. Let's take a little bit extra and get it nice and straight. I'm just having to widen that little hole.
Yeah.
So that when I try and slip it on now, matron, it
perfect.
Almost perfect.
Yeah.
A bit more. I can do it with the file, so let's get the file out. I can do that little corner with the file. Get proper 90 degrees. There we go. That now fits.
Perfectly. There you go.
There you go. So it's like the primary.
It's almost like they got the measurements slightly out, isn't it?
Well, this is a problem I'm having now. I had a problem with the Space Marine bikes that are the new ones, where the top armour didn't fit and had a big gap. I've got a problem with these, and I've got a problem with the Primaris Repulsor tank that doesn't fit together properly. And it seems to be right now there's some kind of quality issue with it. The new designs are great, but there's always something on the vehicles that just doesn't.
Yeah, the tolerances don't seem quite right, do they?
Yeah, there's some. I don't know who they've got designing stuff now, but there's some chump doing it that seems to keep making something wrong, and I'm surprised. I mean, it's entirely possible it could just be me being a tit, I suppose.
Got a tit on it.
Yeah, pretty much. But it's not impossible. Could be something I'm doing, but that literally seems like that did not fit until I cut that extra bit off. Oh, it fits now. But you know, I could just feel where the constriction was, but I couldn't be exactly sure where it was because you can't see inside. You know that thing where you can feel something's in the way of something else, but you can't quite tell for sure.
Yeah.
You can't quite see, but then you do get that sense of satisfaction when you science the shit out of it. And you fix it. I'm quite happy I fixed that now. I'm quite pleased with that. So to the credit, the plastic is actually really nice to carve out. So you'd love that. I mean, that Baneblade you've got is all plastic. It's not all plastic. It's like this new stuff. You'd actually love it because it's so easy to carve. Oh,
so you can really get in with the old scratch builder runery stuff.
Well, you'd love it because it's like butter. It's like carving butter. That bit there, it was like. Before I'd be trying to cut a little piece of plastic out. That was like no problem. So I'm quite pleased that I fixed that. Yay me! Go team!
I am impressed, mate, because that's scratch building. You know, you can take that on board, mate.
Nah, it's not scratch building. That's footsing. That's
trying to big you up there, buddy.
I know.
Didn't work, did it?
No, you need to spend those resources elsewhere, I think. There we go. That's that bit glued on. Despite Games Workshop's best efforts, I managed to glue those bits on. I'll leave the guns wigglyable because they don't come out. You don't have to glue them. It doesn't say to glue them, but it doesn't say not to glue them.
That's a lot of guns, mate, isn't it?
It's what you mean on yours? Full screen, please.
Oh, no, do you want trouser tent time?
I'm permanent trouser tent when your Baneblade's around, dude.
It's getting there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's at that point now where I can start finessing it.
Just wiggle it about 20 degrees to the left so we get a better view. So we're not front, we can see the side then. Oh, there you go. A bit more. You get a bit of a 3/4 view then. And then take your top turret and turn it more to the right a little bit.
Towards you. That way?
Towards me. I like that. There you go. Now we get a good 3/4 view there. Good, not Dutch angle, but 3/4 view. Just need some orcs in that now. Need to get some orcs up in that business. Can I just say, dude, you're a goddamn motherfucking genius. I didn't mean to say the F word then, it just came out, but...
No, I had in my head the direction I wanted to go, but I didn't know whether I'd be able to execute it. And I must admit, I'm quite happy that it's come together now.
The thing is, the best thing you can do when you're not sure about if you can do something is just do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can do this. I've done it. So it didn't work.
Well, this was it. I was acutely conscious of the fact that it was a gift as well. So I wanted, you know what I mean, to show respect.
But you know what? We don't give a shit about respect. We want you to make an awesome looking orc tank.
Oh, yeah, but it has come together. It's a bit mad, isn't it? You got to admit, it is a bit mad.
It's not a bit mad. It's been festered.
You know, but... Yeah, so I might give that a whiz over with a bit of primer during the week just to get it all to one colour, and then.
Are you done with the build then? Is that the build done?
At the moment,
you've got dudes to build yet, though, haven't you?
Yeah, I've got dudes to put on, but I've got to run the electronics. Get that.
I forgot you got to do all the circuitry and lighting and stuff.
Yeah, because I've got obviously plates that I want to go on, barbed wire and all of that lot.
Yeah.
But obviously I want to fit the lights in this and then put the pigtails on for the wiring so that can be glued. And then I can then start putting plates on and barbed wire and shizzle. I want to try and keep the modularity for when I come to paint it, see?
Look at the modularity. Would it be worth gluing them front bits down, though, or is it worth just keeping them off in case something goes a bit tits up?
Well, this is it. This is what I'm wondering.
I wouldn't glue them because they look perfect anyway. There's not a big gap. Yeah. And guarantees if you glue them, you'll need to go in there again.
Yeah, I could probably fix the plates in such a way that they're glued to one part and they just lift off, you know. But
or just magnet them.
It's a good shout.
Because I'm just thinking, because it's going to be a display shelf queen, because you can never play it, you could never transport it, never mind play it on the tabletop. You don't need to have everything glued in place if you need panels that you need to get into. Because if you look at that panel now over that track,
yeah,
it fits perfectly. There's no gap.
Yeah.
It doesn't need any filler. The Baneblade doesn't need much filler at all, if any. It's perfect.
No.
I would say you don't need to glue that, just in case you need to get access to the wiring.
It's slightly eccentric, isn't it? It's got a look about it.
Yeah.
I think I might have deviated slightly from the box art, haven't you? There's a slight difference, isn't there?
That looks just so rubbish now compared. That's what my Baneblade looks like, and I feel sad.
Yeah. And
you know what my Baneblade looks like? A tank. You know what your Baneblade looks like? Edinburgh.
Yeah, I just kind of looked at all the different variants and thought, you know something, I want them all on one.
Which option do you want? Yes.
Yeah, there's the Stormlord bit on the front there.
Yeah. So that's a stubby bit.
Yeah. It's got me dudes to put together, get them all done. Because obviously I've got boards and bits of wood and detritus to go on there to walkify it even more. So
do you think you're gonna do any kind of figure modification, hacking together arms and heads and legs and torsos and stuff, or are you just gonna kind of do them as they come?
I honestly don't know what to do with them, to be honest with you, mate. I mean, what figures have I got at the moment?
Yeah, we've got all the little grots and stuff, and they can just be plastered all over it because they just run around all over it. So
yeah, I've got that set. But
that's your grots and Gretchen. They can literally go anywhere.
Yeah,
I'm thinking for the orcs, who are the dudes in charge, the big dudes. You're gonna have them. What are you gonna do with them having turrets and stuff? And
Yeah, I think I'll probably
Mounting
get a
the
set
guns.
of them, mate, to be honest with you.
It's difficult, is you can't like buy crew.
No,
Although there are
Yeah, go on.
the Orc battle wagon.
Yeah,
Two of the figures are gunners that stand in the back, mounted, manning the mounted big
Yeah.
heavy stubbers that you've actually used on yours. So it might be worth eBaying it and see if you can find just the figures from the Orc battle wagon.
yeah, I've got a couple of SDL files of Orc tank commanders and things like
Oh
that
yeah, there you go.
pop out of the doobry, so I'll probably give them a print during the week and see how they come out.
But have a look at the Orc battle wagon though, because like I said, the figures in that are designed to be in like manned turrets and things. So
Yeah,
they
yeah,
might be useful as well.
exactly.
If there's no STLs, like I say, probably get them on eBay.
Yeah, this is it. It's just getting, like I say, getting the figures in there and yeah.
Making them look like they fit and not just stuck on the top.
Absolutely.
Well, I have to say that my little fella here is in. There you go. That's all you need to know, isn't it? Basically,
You have to put your full screen.
it's this is where I've got so far. It's not.
Yeah, but come on, it's going to look
You've
serious.
got 5 seconds to comply. I mean, there will be a guy that sits in the cockpit, but
Well, yeah, it's very reminiscent of Ed 209, isn't it? Yeah.
you've got a dude in it though. I like the fact you can have the dude. You can have a little if he wants to get out,
Yeah, I like that.
but then you glue him in anyway. But
And I like the sound effect as well that went with it.
yeah, a bit like over the engine.
Yeah.
But the dude will sit in there. There's like a roll cage that go. I quite like this Invictus battle suit. My first Gundam. My
Yeah.
first baby Gundam. There you go. It's like the concept version of a Zaku, the early mobile workers that were the early Zaku sort of prototypes. Two little guys. I can wiggle the guns because they're not glued in place.
Yeah, that is mint. I like that.
I am very pleased that I figured that out with my brain. These two ill-fitting parts here. It does disappoint me though. These ill-fitting panels on this and the other ones I've done. Is this the thing now with the new vehicles? Is they're all going to have something crappy about them?
Well, this is it. Have they got, are they pulling them from the molds too soon, perhaps? Is it just about that?
It's not that. It seems to be just a design flaw.
Yeah.
Like I say, in the repulsor, if you build it the way the instructions say, the panels just do not fit together, and that's why I had to put those plastic card on mine to fill gaps. Although apparently you can build it not following the instructions and they will fit, so that's just bad instructions. But I don't know.
Candy Graham from Mongo says, I've spent hours now gazing at this Baneblade and I keep seeing new details. Yeah.
You should, that's you seeing it through a webcam. Imagine seeing it like on a decent photograph where you can see all the details.
Yeah, I will take some pictures of it in the photo booth for you and bung them on me group and that and let you see them. So,
Carl,
what?
Your photo booth isn't big enough.
Yeah, I just realised that. Yeah.
What I would say is get a massive roll of paper on a cardboard roll and just have it like that hanging.
Yeah.
There ain't no photo booth.
Yeah, I've got a big old green screen up there.
There you go, that'll do.
Yeah, and I will take some pictures so that you get to see it because there are little details in there. You've got your
Just one or two.
Yeah, a few little bits. But don't forget, this is the bit I like.
Oh, that's such a nice snicked, isn't it?
It's a rare, but there's like hammers, toolboxes, all little widgets and chisel and.
What are you going to do with the little tiny Gretchen? Are you going to glue them on and paint them in place, or are you going to paint them and glue them on?
I'll paint them first and then put them on.
Yeah, I would recommend using my handy dandy super glue and plastic sprue trick to mount them to paint them. You've seen it when I did it the other day, wouldn't it? Where you get the little figure.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and just mount it on the base of the foot to a little piece of sprue, and then that sprue is what you can then jam into a cork or into blue tack or hold the sprue and paint the figure or something like that.
Because we got the little geezer to stand on top of the gun, ain't we? That's going to be pointing his gun at the enemy.
Yeah,
he's got to go on. There's enough aerials on there now, I think.
I would say, to be fair, if a figure is like on the end of a gun or something where you could easily get to him, you could glue him in place, and you could easily paint the dude on the end of the barrel there.
Yeah, because we was on about that last week, weren't we? Having the dude stood on the end of the barrel because it would just be.
But you could easily paint him in, so you could glue him on and then paint him in because you can get to all of him then.
Yeah,
But then again, if you want to work really closely with him, you might want him on a stick just to mount him to some sprue, just to paint him and then glue him on later. But then you're gluing him on painted, which is never ideal. So
yeah, it was one of those little dudes, wasn't
yeah. I'd make sure it's the one with the smallest possible pistol.
it? Yeah, it's got to be, isn't it? It's got to be
The smallest, tiniest little weapon.
But no.
Like if one of them had a catapult, that'd be fun. Like that'd be best.
Yeah, well, there's one there with a mace.
Drive me closer. I want to hit him with my mace.
Yeah, there's one with a what looks like a 6-shooter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a nickel gun up there.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's always the little people. It's always the little fellas that are the most aggressive.
This little dude.
Hang on, let me put my glasses back on.
little tiny 6-shooter. It's like, yeah.
He's there saying, "You want some? Ignore this big tank. Ignore this big tank. Look at my gun. It's big."
Yeah.
And it is big compared to his head.
Yeah,
But then again, he's like 2 foot tall.
There's going to be people out there that have built Baneblades that will go, "Oh my god, what on earth has he gone and done to it?" But
oh no, trust me. Anybody who builds 40k knows all about orcs and will fully appreciate what you've done.
considering I don't know the subject, I don't think I've done too bad.
That's because you are an orc.
But yeah, it's
You
one
are
of
pretty
them,
much
isn't
an
it?
orc.
Yeah, I think I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orc is your spirit animal.
Yeah. But no, there's all kinds of gubbins going. They've got ladders and smoke bomb things and additional guns.
It's a gun, innit?
Gun in it. It's exhaust and shizzle.
Don't forget, of course, that one bit that's got a tit on it.
Yeah, I've got dudes to go in these as well.
It's got a tit on it.
Yeah. There was a tit in the gun. Double
Tit
mantle that had to be done. So as folks suggested things, it's happened, isn't it? You know, in the chat. Why don't you put this on there? Yeah, no worries. There it is. That's not too bad.
Iron Man 129 says time well spent on both mod. Yeah, that's no comparison between what I've done tonight and what Colin's done tonight. Also, can I just say that my entire little Invictus battlesuit here would just fit like on one.
The thing is, if you could overcome your nervousness about getting the saw out, you could knock one of these out.
Yeah, but I know, but I could never make it look that awesome because I haven't got that kind of imagination. I haven't got the engineering imagination. But this entire model would just fit nicely on top of one of those little turrets, and you just blend. That's how lame this is compared to that.
Oh, you're putting yourself down there, mate.
The only satisfaction I can get is that by the time you've painted one track unit, I'll have finished painting my entire Baneblade.
Well, it was the fact that when I first put on the sponsons and started building the extra set that you got for her, she was like, "Tell you what would be good, Cole. What's that? A set of 3 each side." I went, "Yeah, no worries. I'll order another set." Because it's like, actually, yeah, it gives it. I don't know, it just gives it a bit of symmetry. It works.
Somehow, it sounds weird. I don't know, but those little sponsons with the turrets on top of the sponsons.
Yeah.
I feel there needs to be something on top of each of the little turrets. But I don't know what, because you can't get smaller turrets.
I was originally going to put the little canisters, you know, the smoke bombs on the top. Definitely needs to be something on them.
Yeah, but I don't know what. I reckon. I don't know how you do it, but
I know
what if you had on each of the little turrets like a little missile rack with a couple of missiles on it? Or you'd have to build a little missile rack to launch, and then I don't know how you have to get a load of
like a 3D. Do you remember the little 3D printed Baneblade I did ages ago?
Yeah.
That bad boy.
that doesn't even. That's. No, I don't know if that would work because that's. I don't know if that would work. That's a bit weird.
No, I thought little additional turret is the turret on top of a turret.
Could do. Look at that little tiny Baneblade though.
I know, it's cute.
That doesn't even fit. That doesn't even fit on one track unit cover.
Well, see, when we first got it, I printed one of these out, didn't I? And I went, I can't understand why people are paying a lot of money because it's only that big. And you was like, dude, Colin, that isn't the size of the Baneblade.
Yeah, when Colin printed that out, he thought that was actually a Baneblade. That's what you get when you buy a Baneblade from Games Workshop. He thought you get that. He's like, why don't you pay 90 quid for that?
Yeah. I was like, you paid 90 quid for that? Oh my God, that's, yeah.
And I think that's actually based on the old Forge World Baneblade anyway.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, he's like, why are you paying 90 quid for this little tank that's like 3 inches long? And I'm like, no, Col.
I am just wondering whether a micro turret on the top doesn't have to be necessarily, but you know what I mean? I mean, a little tiny turret on top.
Your call, dude. Absolutely your call.
It's additional turrets.
Or you could buy more Sponson units and just put more turrets on top of the turrets. I need 2 more Sponson sets, but I just need the turrets.
Yeah, I don't want the turrets.
I have like a big stack of like multi-stack of turrets all going in different directions.
I honestly think I'd be able to get more turrets off the flea bay.
You probably could. You probably people will just sell individual sponsors and things.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm trying to get as many guns on a Baneblade as possible. Please help me in my mission.
Turrets on the turrets. I'm going to stop you there because I heard you like turrets on your turrets, so I'm going to put some turrets in your turrets so you can turret while you're turreting.
Yeah, I don't honestly know what else I can put on it.
Strata Strong says, looks like one of the cities from Mortal Engines movie. It does. Candygram says, the Baneblade looks like something that would have been right at home on the heavy metal animated movie.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
That with a hint of Tank Girl.
It's just got that, yeah.
I really hope you like painting checkers. Because there's a lot of checkers to paint on that. However, the advantage you have is it's big enough that you could actually just do little squares of masking tape to do not brush painted checkers.
Yeah, it's just got that. I mean, that works, doesn't it? Look, 3 sponsons, dude.
There's no way it doesn't work, dude.
Look at that. Oh. Yeah. Isn't it?
It is in it. It is. There's no words. It's just in it. Yeah, it is. Is it? It is. Yeah, in it.
Guns. It's got guns on it.
You don't put any. Where's your corrugated iron and stuff?
I took that off because I wasn't feeling it.
You're not feeling it?
No.
Okay.
Not at the moment.
Ooh.
I've got some plates that I'm going to do, but yeah.
How about, and I don't know if I'll be able to explain this in any way or form, but how about you've got your gun barrel. How about some like corrugated stuff, but wrapped around it, and then like use some easy line to make it look like they've pulled the cable really taut, and it's kind of like almost like really thin corrugated material they've wrapped around it to make a
wrap around the guns.
Yeah, but then with like rope or something like
so it's almost some like form of wire that they've used to wrap around it.
Yeah, so it might be crumpled in the middle a bit, maybe around one of the big cannon barrels. I don't know though. Maybe it looked a bit stupid. I don't know.
Find out.
Maybe they could have, I don't know, maybe you'd have corrugated sheeting around the turret so the guy's a bit more protected.
Because I've still got it all. It just I wasn't feeling it where it was at the time. But
I mean, I think that would be a bit too thick. I think, wouldn't it? Really,
it would wrap around the barrel.
Yeah, but it might be a bit too thick. You have to be really, really thin.
Yeah, probably use some aluminium can or.
But what about
like that?
What about like how about just the occasional sheet here and there, like near a turret or some exposed part, as like a bit of a blast shield, but you can have it on the side of the tank and then held in place with a wooden beam like stuck over the top of it, so it looks like they've nailed the piece of wood in to hold the corrugated sheet in place, like at the side of the turret or something, like a blast shield or.
Yeah, because this is the stage I'm at with it at the moment. Is if I start putting all the different and hanging the plates off of it, knowing I've got to paint it. Whereas I could have them all as the accessories and get them painted, and then, like I say, as the build then comes to an end, I can then attach them bits once everything's been painted.
Yeah, but I suppose the only risk you've got then is you're gluing stuff onto a paint job, which is...
Yeah, this is the thing. I need to mock it up, don't I?
Yeah, that might be alright as it is, to be honest. I don't know.
As it needs more.
Always, if you're still itching to do more, I would just like you've done before, just Google orc anything, and have a look at all the different. Just
there's all kinds of madness to go on that you sit there and you think, I've got to add that to it. I've got to add that to it. And like you say, it's probably this stage now where do a bit of research during the week and have a look at some stuff, because like you say, gluing it onto a paint job's a pain, whereas once it's on the model, it's on there, you just paint it.
I mean, the only thing I can think is if you can come up with something to get more squigs on it, like I said, a stowage bin on the side full of squigs, or when you're going to put a hammock across the back as well.
Yeah, there's going to be an hammock going across there.
What are you going to make that out of? Easy line or something?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah,
probably use a bit of easy line and a bit of sculptor mode to make the hammock.
It depends if it's a netting hammock or a material hammock. If it was a netting hammock, the thing is you could do it with easy line, but then you need it to sag in the middle, don't you, and go like that.
Yeah, you need it to give that effect, don't you?
You'd have to kind of make a fishing net almost out of it. I wouldn't enjoy doing that. We're not Japanese, we can't do that.
Be a bit of challenge. I'd have a go though.
Yeah, you would. Yeah, you would.
You know what's going to happen. Yeah. It needs something. I don't know quite. Like I say, it needs the hammock. That's got to be done.
I think maybe it just needs more like. They're all like, it's got lots of tank bits and vehicle bits. I think it needs more just ramshackle random shit they found on the battlefield, like you say, like bits of plate metal and corrugated and strips of wood and
little bits of metal plate and things. It's, dare I say it, it's still neat at the moment.
Yeah, it's still just vehicle parts and stuff.
Yeah, it now needs that sort of random weird shit basically on it, doesn't it? You know,
it needs that personalisation that the orc would give it by just jamming.
The main structure's done, the main sort of mechanics is done. It now needs that. Oh, I found a gatepost over there and some string. Let's tie that onto the Baneblade.
Yeah,
we can walk
it's a
along
telegraph
that,
pole with wires hanging off it and that kind of thing.
You know, so it needs that. You know, all of the random stuff. You know, the bits of bobs, Costa sticks, and Christ knows what else. You know, so I've got some wooden boards and planks that I've got designs for that are going to come off the printer.
Lovely. So, I think just when you get a minute, just spend an hour or two just googling orc stuff. Yeah. Not just orc Baneblade, but orc anything, and just see what pops out.
That's it. It's just getting them little quirky ideas, isn't it? You know,
it needs something involving squigs on it. It needs to get squigs in it somehow.
Yes,
but I don't know how. Like in the Rucker Truck Squig buggy, there's a little basket in the back of the truck that's just full of squigs. Yeah, because they launch them they put them in the gun and fire them. So yeah. It's just a big box full of squigs in the back of the truck, and there's a grot. There's a grot in the box trying to like keep all the squigs under control, but they're on the verge of eating him every time they move.
Just giving me a thought because I've got a greeble, and I keep taking it out the bag and thinking about it.
You might as well go full screen, by the way, dude. So I'm not.
I'm just looking for the greeble, mate.
Greeble.
I've got that bit of greeble. Oh, let's just go full screen for a sec.
Full screen.
I've got that, and I was gonna try and convert that into some kind of, like you say, storage basket. And you could have that full of squigs or something.
Yeah.
And shove it on its arris, sort of in there somehow.
See what you could. Oh, here's an idea. See if you've got your grabby arm.
Yeah, him.
If you had the back
grabbing squigs, couldn't it?
Does it look like it could rotate round? Can you get that basket on the side? Because it's a bit big for grabbing squigs.
Well, in there somehow.
No, it don't really work there, does it? No. It's a bit. The arm's a bit big for grabbing squigs. I was thinking more just like a. I suppose you haven't really got enough space for anything really big.
No.
It'd be more like a canvas strapping stowage bin, wouldn't it? You know, you get just the straps of canvas that make a kind of.
I'm with you. Yeah.
A net bag, as it were.
Yeah.
But you haven't got a weapon. You haven't got a squig firing weapon either, so that's. I don't know.
A squig firing weapon. I'm sure I can find something. I am a man of unknown resources.
I mean, if you had like some wide-barreled weapon of some sort,
Yeah,
and you built into the weapon, like you've got the weapon there, and then built into that, it's mounted onto a box of some sort full of squigs. It's kind of apparent then that that's a gun that fires the squigs. Have you got? Have you got the Rooker Truck Squig buggy?
no.
Because that is basically a vehicle that's designed to fire squigs out of guns. It was basically meant to. It was supposed to fire squigs at other orcs to give them food.
Okay.
But they converted it to actually fire squigs as weapons. Yeah, because what they do is they
incorporated as something that this is dragging along, perhaps.
Oh my god, are you thinking about building a trailer?
Yeah. Trailer full of squigs with a squig gun.
What weapons have you got left on the sprues? Have you got any of the original Baneblade weapons?
No.
I was thinking, what if you had one of the big fat ones, like the little stubby one at the front.
Yeah.
If you had one of them, you could build like a really fat mortar.
Yeah.
So it'd be like that long, and you'd build like some kind of cog wheel effect. So you have to scratch build it all and make little cog, as if it's like a little mortar that goes up and down like that.
Yeah.
And they just angle it and go and fire a squig out of it. And put that on a trailer.
Got to do something, There's got to be something on the back of that.
Yeah.
It needs something, doesn't it?
Dear Lord. I don't know where you could attach anything like that there.
I'll just put a hook on the back. Toe arm.
Stick a tit on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you mean like a trailer? Yeah, I could do it as a trailer.
We'll just have something. Yeah, it's just it needs
I
something.
don't know though, because it kind of looks nice at the back with the barrels and the iconography and stuff.
Yeah,
I think
we've got amok going in there as well, haven't we?
Yeah,
So.
I don't know if it'd be having too much. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's not.
Hold up a minute. You've just turned around and said maybe that might have too much. I think I might have crossed that bridge already, mate.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's lots of beautiful detail on the back that's going to look fantastic, and it's covering all that good stuff up.
Yeah.
I really don't know where you could do it.
Well, you can always have that. I can always build that squig thing and have it with it as part of the display.
What's on that big cannon that's sticking out the front?
This.
Yeah, what's on the left-hand side of it? Is it just an open hole in the front of the? No, in the thing it's sticking out of.
Oh, what this? No, it's plated up at the moment.
Just like no, I mean, stick your finger to the side of that big cannon.
Yeah, what there?
No, other side.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's that?
That's a plate.
It's plate in it.
Yeah,
okay.
look.
Okay, so I was going to say if you could get some kind of really wide bore cannon, but not particularly long, you could have that sticking out and just put a squig in the end of the cannon as if it's just like jammed into the cannon, ready to be fired out, like the fat bloke in the Cuban
That's a good
cannonball.
spot to put something like that, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but you've already got that armour in there.
That's all right. That can easily be removed.
Or you could just put a squig in that volcano cannon that's sticking out the front, that's on the front, the little stubby one. Just, you know what, the human cannibal sticking out the front of the cannon?
Yeah,
Just put like
just have it poking out. Yeah,
have a big fat squig sticking. Like he's ready to be fired, but he's not been fired yet. At least you've got the suggestion that there's a cannon that fires squigs. At least you've got the suggestion of it.
I've got Squiggy just in there, haven't I? You
You might have to hack one around a bit.
Yeah, but, you could have him getting fired out of there with the stick of dynamite in his teeth.
He might be a bit big there.
Yeah.
You want one that just about fits in the barrel, just about like it's been jammed in there, or it's just about sticking its head out.
I could scale that right down.
Yeah, you could do. That would work. It might be fun just to have a couple of squigs running around on the outside of the tank as well, because like a grot. If you've got a grot, I don't know if any of your grot or Gretchens are like trying to control a squig or in a kind of running around pose.
Yeah, I've got one that's trying to control the squig. Got him.
Yeah, no, he's the boss. He's an orc. That's an orc. I mean, like if you had a Gretchen that was trying to like wrangle a squig who was like being pulled along by it, you could have like one running along the side of the frame, the hull of the tank, and this Gretchen being dragged along by it or something.
Well, I was debating whether to have something along here, like a foot plate on the side. What have I got that I could use as an example? Let's have a look.
I can't believe I'm going to say it, but
something under there or whatever, but it's going to be too busy again, isn't it?
I was going to say I can't believe I'm going to say it, but I think it breaks it breaks the lines.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, it kind of it's got a certain grace to it. I can't believe I'm saying it, but it's got a certain grace and design to it.
Hold on a minute, did you just turn around and say my Baneblade's got a certain amount?
No, it's got a certain balance to it. It's not like it kind of works. Everything's kind of balanced out.
Yeah, it works. All we really want to do now is just have the odd bit hanging off of it, like a bit of plate tied on with a bit of wire. Or
it's mostly got a certain symmetry to it, but then it's got a few asymmetrical elements, like the little turret on the front next to the big boomstick. Is by itself. That's a little asymmetrical bit. The big grabby claw and the wrecking ball are different on each side, but they kind of a little bit of asymmetry kind of works, but the rest of it's fairly balanced out. So
mad, isn't it?
Insanity. I don't know.
I think I might have fulfilled the challenge.
Oh yeah, you got to paint it. The challenge is painting it.
The trouble is, everything's going to seem downhill now, isn't it? I mean, I'm looking at the Valkyrie and I'm like, the hell am I going to do to that?
Yeah, there's not much you can do to that.
I can't go too mad because otherwise it'd never get off the ground.
It's Orc. It'll work. If the Orc believes it works, it works.
Yeah. Candy Graham for Mongo says it could be towing a string of tiny yellow baby duck ball toys. Stratus Strong says, is this what a mutated inbred transformer would look like?
Have a blast shield held by a squig who is standing on the wrong side. I think he means a grot, but yes, that's a direction.
Yeah.
That's the beauty. It's the beauty of the grots. They are like the masters of ineptitude. As I've said before, when you get grots on the mech guns, they're always manned. They're like big, like mortars or like field artillery. But
I've
they're
got
manned
this
by
little guy holding his ears.
Oh yeah, he's like, nah.
So I could have a bit of plate behind him that he stood in front of.
And he's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That'll be because I say they man the mech guns, but when you play the game and you fire a mech gun, there are three possibilities. Well, there's four possibilities. One, you miss your target.
Yeah.
Two, you hit your target. Three, the gun explodes and doesn't do anything, just explodes. Or four, one of the grots actually manning the gun somehow fires himself out of the gun.
Yeah.
That's a viable game option when you roll the dice. One of the options is your little fella fires himself out of the gun by accident. That's how inept the grots are. So that's why they're great for comedy like that.
Yeah, I think mine would have a field day doing that. I've just got the feeling they would. Yeah. It's going to be a challenge painting it, but I'm looking forward to it. I must admit, I probably won't say that. I
don't think it'll be a challenge, but I think it'll be a long, slow climb up a very tall mountain. I don't think you're going to find it difficult or hard, but it's sticking with it. I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be a long paint job.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to sort of try to rush it or anything. I'm just going to do a bit now and then and see how it comes along. You know,
it'll be your white whale paint job.
Yeah. But I shall film it, because, folk are asking whether I'm going to do a paint film series for it, which I will do. So, I mean, these live streams.
Episode 428. This week in the Big Brother house, Festa is still painting his fucking Baneblade.
I mean, these live streams are perfect for building, but yeah, the painting side, I'll probably like to say do a video series on it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that. I mean, once you get past all the airbrushing and stuff, when you're painting little details and stuff, you probably could live stream it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's whatever you want to do. It's your channel, so.
Well, the thing is, I can do both, can't I? I can just live stream it, but record it at the same time.
I think you'll have quite a few Spider Pig. I think you'll have quite a few weeks of painting to get out of that. So.
Yeah.
Because it might be that you'll be like, right, now I'm going to show you how to paint a rust streak. There you go, rust streak done. Now I'll spend the next 6 live streams doing all the other rust streaks before I can film the next step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think you're going to get a fair bit of live material out of that as well.
It's different, isn't it?
Anything you do after this, bear.
Well, you kept saying you've got to build a Warhammer, you've got to do one, and now perhaps I understand why you wanted me to do one.
The funny thing is, I didn't think you build all Warhammer in one kit. You basically built every Warhammer kit there is at the same time.
Well, I mean, it kind of was just that throwaway one-line comment, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be cool to put everything in the bottom? You said it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be cool if you could put everything in the box on the one Baneblade? It's like
the thing is, you've said to us so many times that your missus tells you not to say something, you have to say it. So we know if we plant a seed, we know you're going to be like, yeah, I'll do that.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't it be cool if I've already done it? Excellent.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I could get everything in that box on the one build.
Meanwhile, I did that. Shut up. Nobody cares.
Oh, don't be dumb.
Nobody cares about my little tiny bit of
Full
plastic.
screen, come on. Show your wares. Pimp it.
Nobody cares about my little flippy flappy bit with his wiggly bits.
Yeah.
Rawr, rawr, I'm a dinosaur. Rawr, it's not a dinosaur. Rawr.
Oh, what do you like?
You have 5 seconds to comply.
Yeah, resistance is futile. William Rayborn says, wow, they're still at it. Hi again. Hello, William. All right, mate. We'll be coming off air literally in 5 minutes, mate.
I'm getting the droopy eyelids already now. So,
Candygram from Mongo saying hi to William. William says, that's epic. Yes, we're still discussing stuff to add to it, mate.
Do you notice, like, if you look at both our screens, yours is 90% the thing you're building, a little bit of scenery. Mine is mostly scenery and a hint of some plastic somewhere on my desk. Mine is mostly empty space with a little bit of... Yours is mostly plastic with a hint of desk.
The irony is I had to move my camera back to get it all in. It was like, yeah.
One of these things is not like the other.
Yeah, I've not built a Warhammer. Guess which one of us has got a child's imagination?
The thing is, that gun, that wibbly gun you've put on the front, on the nose of your tank.
Yeah.
The flippy flappy one, the storm bolters, that's about the same size as that.
Yeah.
So this is about the same size as just that single gun on the front of your tank.
Yeah, but mate, I fulfilled the challenge. I got all 6 sponsons on.
You did.
It's there.
And you've got every... Are you sure you've got no weapons left on the sprues? I'm sure you must have more.
I've got some in the bag. I've de-screwed everything now.
Oh, right, okay.
I've got guns. I've still got guns. Still got a load of barrels. Load of exhausts.
You see.
I've built me bullets. So I've got 4 more exhaust pipes to go on. Empty barrels. I did what you were saying earlier, where I built the barrels separate, but also one of them as 2.
Okay,
got that to go on. But I've got loads of plates and shizzle and greebles there. So
get your plates here, £3 for £1.
Free plates for £1.
Get your greebles, finest greebles, £3 for £1.
So yeah, it's. Ideas on a postcard, please. What else can we add to the Baneblade?
I think whatever you add now, to make it truly orc, I think whatever you add now needs to just be dumb. Because aside from the wrecking ball and the grabby hand and the little wooden watchtowers at the back, which are a stroke of genius, it's all kind of serious. I know it doesn't sound really... It sounds stupid, but it's all kind of serious, like it's cannons and guns and stuff. I think what it needs just now to make it truly orc is the silliness to come in, is the real silliness to kick in somehow. Yeah,
no way would that work. Why is that on there?
Yeah, but I mean things like that's where your squigs and your grots and you just I can't really explain it. It's like the bloke on the end of the turret with his tiny little 6-shooter. That's orc humour. That's orc comedy. It's that kind of thing. I think all it needs now is that humour to be built into it somehow.
Yeah, only orcs would think of that. Yeah.
Well, the orcs are fairly smart, but the grots are idiots. So it's like the squig hanging out of the turret, or the grot on the end of the cannon, or that kind of. It needs that little humour to come into it a bit more, I think, and then it'll be sweet. Then
it is mad, isn't it?
Yeah, but just Google orc stuff and I've just soak it all in.
Oh yeah,
you are orc. You'll get there anyway.
I think we may have found a bit of a niche. People will be going, don't let him build another Warhammer.
I really don't know what you can do to that Valkyrie though.
No, I've got no idea. I haven't really given it a lot of thought yet. But
No, don't start thinking about that, otherwise you'll never finish this one.
and I've got the Wasbomb to do as well.
Although on the Valkyrie, you could just cover it in like sponsors.
How many turrets do you think I could get on a Valkyrie?
All of them.
Yeah. See, it would be good if the Baneblade had Valkyrie wings on it and jet engines.
Well, I said you should stick the engines on it, but then you're wasting the engines from your Valkyrie then, so... Yeah. It needs nacelle. It needs nacelles like Star Trek style.
Big set of nacelles.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, I think, like I say, it's...
How about a really stupid crow's nest?
Well, just stick it up in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like real proper pirate ship, little crow's nest, like with a grot in it, and they'll just get some easy line to make some little ropey ladder.
Yeah, just have one swinging around or whatever.
And then you can have like one falling off and one swinging on a rope and all kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because that top turret, it's not really tall enough to see much of the battlefield. You need a long view of the battlefield.
Put the crow's nest on. You know that geezer that's got the periscope? Have him stuck in the crow's nest.
Yeah, in a crow's nest, but like really shitty, like made out of bits of wood crow's nest that doesn't offer any protection, and have one of them kind of hanging out or falling out. And yeah,
that'll work.
Okay, there you go. That'll work.
Yeah, you now know what's going to be on it next week, folks.
But then you really are going to struggle to get it in shot. But then again, keep in mind you've got to be able to film it. So I would probably say build a crow. I don't know how you're going to do it. You could build a crow's
nest and have it magnetised, couldn't we?
Well, you could have a hole drilled into the whatever you're sticking it to, and just slot it in once it's built.
Yeah.
So it's just a rod with a thing on the top.
Yeah.
And reinforce it with some other bits. But if you're going to do the rigging bits, then you have to put them on at the end, won't you? Once it's installed.
Put them on at the end. Just use some easy line to pull it across to the corners.
Yeah. You have a little rope ladder for it to go up and stuff.
Yeah, some rigging from like an old galleon bit of rigging. Because then you could then that's climbing surfaces for all the little grots, isn't it? See, so.
Then of course you need a sail.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the thing you've put on the back, you've got like the poop deck of a little tiny poop decks on the back.
Yeah.
Wooden. I think at least some sort of crow's nest with the guy.
Yeah, some kind of crow's nest.
For the guy with the binoculars, yeah, absolutely. Because that turret is no way tall enough in the air to get a good view of the battlefield, even though it's like 60 foot in the air.
You honestly think they wouldn't see that coming?
Yeah, I mean, that probably is about... how tall would that be? That would be about... I don't know, because a 6 foot dude will probably come up to just over those sticky out bits above the wheels. You know, the little... Yeah. The little strange sticky out things on the...
these.
Yeah. A 6 foot tall bloke, let's say 5 foot tall bloke will be about to the top of those little sticky out bits. So
no, it still needs a crow's nest then, mate.
Yeah, it's probably about 30, 35 feet high or something like that.
Well, crow's nest's about yay tall, sticking up the top there. Yeah, because the tops of these would be perfect for the rigging to come up, wouldn't they? Oh.
Then again, but you having them turning around though, so you can't do that. You're motorising them, remember?
Yeah, but the crow's nest could be coming up from the back there that isn't motorised.
No, but you can't put rigging onto the turret that's moving around.
Fudge even.
Technical term.
Yeah, fudge sticks and broom handles. Yeah,
because if you use a brass rod for the crow's nest, just at least to start with, you could wrap things around to like rope and stuff. But
yeah,
if it's just you could just drill a hole and slot it in. There you go.
Job done.
Yeah, it's just the rigging you'd have to attach.
Yeah,
and if you can make the crow's nest so it sits there like that, and you've got the little bit, make it so it's like that.
Yeah, so it's all rickety and crooked.
Yeah, it's not actually. It's like, and the guy's there, and he's got his little binoculars.
Yeah. Well, you could have the bottom of the post held up with a few strategically placed diagonal bits of wood that have been nailed together.
Oh yeah.
Try and hold it upright.
Oh yeah, all made of wood and stuff.
Yeah, that can be done.
There you go. Crow's nest.
Yeah, it's going to have a crow's nest on it now.
Strata Strong says you could add a little petting animal zoo just for the fun of it. That's where the squig's coming. Although I don't think you want to pet the squig.
Yeah, there's got to be.
I think if you had a big basket of squigs, that would have to be because they're about to be loaded into one of the guns.
Yes.
Burpage.
Yeah. Yeah, got to have something with the squigs in. Could always have a big basket of squigs just hanging off that front edge, bulging out.
Could be.
Yeah, that's what I'll be doing next week. Then building the crow's nest. Yeah,
you don't know where that idea just came from. I don't know where that idea just came from.
It kind of would work though, wouldn't it?
It kind of would, wouldn't it?
Why not?
You see, now you're thinking with portals. So what I would say is, remember we were saying about Skyrim earlier on?
Yeah.
Don't play that before you finish painting this. Because it'll be one or the other.
Yeah.
I've just suddenly realised I'm there saying, go and play Skyrim. It's like, no, don't do that because you'll never finish this.
Yeah. Yeah. And I must admit, I think you're itching to see this finished, didn't you?
I know. I need you to make an exact copy of it and send it to me.
I'll put it up. I'll put it in a box and send it to you so you can paint it.
That'd be a big box. No, I don't want that one.
Yeah.
I will buy a Baneblade kit and get you to build it just like that, and then oh, that would be awesome. That would.
Yeah, you like that. That's got your attention, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that has. I could just see all the painting. I could see getting bored of the painting halfway through, but then being like, no, but at the end of the day, look at it. I mean, come on, carry on. And then I just carry on.
It is one of those, isn't it? It's slightly... This is what happens when you let Festa festerize stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been festered.
This is why I get locked in this rather small room away from the public.
Yeah, this is why Mrs. Festa is happy for him to stay in this small room away from the public all the time. Yeah. Don't you get bored with me, dear? No, you stay in your room.
Yeah. It's when I look and go, oh, that vacuum cleaner, I could modify that. So that
we'll just send you a plate of fish heads through the hatch. There you go.
Yeah. Be like, you leave my stuff alone, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that works. Oh, well then, mate. Is that where we're going to go for a wrap, is it, for the day?
Yeah, it was 3:30 now, isn't it? I'm falling asleep now.
No worries. So
sleepy times for Fox.
Thanks for everyone that's watched our inane drivel and kept in touch with the Baneblade builds and all of that lot. You on this afternoon, are you, mate?
Oh, God, Jesus Christ, I'm only 12 hours. Oh, yes. Skyrim Saturday today at 3 p.m, so in like 11 hours.
Yeah, so if Fox is sitting there going, you know why, it's my fault.
Yeah, I'll basically go to sleep now, wake up at midday after 8 hours, and then I'll be streaming. So
yeah,
Skyrim
you'll be streaming, mate.
Come and watch me stream some Skyrim at 3 p.m. on my channel.
Happy
and thank
days.
you for watching. Thank you for watching Festa's Baneblade and some shit that I've built. Nobody cares about that.
No worries. Thanks for watching.
I'll just move it over there out of the way. Nobody's talking about that.
Oh, don't play the walking away music.
No, because what I can do is instead I can do that instead and give you Guthorm to look at. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
much better.
There you go. Rightio, folks. Catch you later. Thanks for watching, and tune in and watch the Guru tomorrow. Catch you later.
Adieu.
Bye.
Take care, everyone. Stay warm. Stay warm. What? Wear a mask.